A boy awakened the strongest class in history, the Necromancer. A single person could rival an entire national army, but who would have thought that as a Necromancer, his mental power was zero? He couldn't even summon a single ragged little skeleton. Fortunately, the system let him draw an S-rank talent, the brave heart of the Mage. By defeating enemies through physical combat, he could earn free attribute points. With no other choice, he put all his points into strength, becoming the only melee-focused Necromancer in the world. At the Royal 4th Academy of Sioux City, Principal Sterling was giving a passionate speech on stage. Today is the day you enter the inner world for class registration. Once you enter the magic array, the system will awaken your class. Whether it's a skilled swordsman, an invincible knight, an elusive assassin, or an incredibly powerful mage, everything follows the choice of fate. The array is about to open. Everyone get ready. Leo had been reborn into this world for 18 years. Today, the moment to change his fate had finally arrived. This was a parallel world extremely similar to Earth. The only difference was that the man-made inner world had completely overturned the normal human world. Dungeons of varying difficulty had appeared all over the world. After turning 18, people could change classes to become players and challenge these dungeons to increase their level and strength. As the array opened, welcome, player Leo, to your first entry into the inner world. Would you like to begin drawing your class? Leo didn't hesitate to choose to draw. Ancestors, aunts, and uncles, please bless me and let me draw a good class. Suddenly, a surge of eerie green necromantic energy emanated from Leo's body. Congratulations, player. You have drawn the hidden class, Necromancer. Leo was completely stunned. This was a unique hidden class. Holy crap, my ancestors and relatives really came through for me. There are only a handful of people in the entire world with this class. With a wave of the necromantic staff, countless undead summons instantly poured out from the gates of hell. A single person could rival an entire army. He was practically the god of luck. He then hurriedly opened his attribute panel. Holy crap, is this a freaking joke? A necromancer with zero mental strength. Leo felt his scalp tingle in shock. Initial attributes are randomly assigned up to 10 points. But for a mage, mental strength is the most important stat. How the hell is he supposed to play with zero mental strength? He couldn't even summon a weak little skeleton. Just then, the system prompted, would you like to draw your initial talent? Leo was practically in tears. Fine, just draw it. It doesn't even matter anymore. Even if he drew an S-rank talent, it would be completely useless. Suddenly, a powerful surge of energy erupted from Leo's body. Congratulations, player. You have drawn the talent, Brave Heart of the Mage. He got a bonus 10 free attribute points. For the passive effect, Leo gains free attribute points by killing enemies in close combat. As for the active effect, Leo can raise other attributes to match the value of a specific one, though only one attribute can be bound at a time. Seeing this, Leo was instantly shocked. Good lord, what insane luck is this? Free attribute points are incredibly rare. And this Heart of the Brave is simply a god-tier skill. As long as he kills enemies, he can get a steady stream of attribute points. And he can raise all attributes to the same value. He could instantly become an all-around, hexagon warrior. For a novice with all attributes at 10, Leo is simply an unprecedented, peerless monster. If those values reach the thousands or tens of thousands, it's unimaginable. Close quarters combat requires strength, right? I'll just put all my points into strength then. Congratulations, player Leo, attribute allocation successful. Next, he had to register his class and complete the novice quest to truly finalize his class change. Then, the system teleported him to the novice quest location. Standing before him was a stunningly curvaceous NPC girl. Respected player, I am the guide, Eileen. How may I help you? Hello, I'm here to register and pick up the novice quest. It's a pleasure to serve you. Here is your novice gift pack. Congratulations, player Leo. You've obtained starting equipment, a worn-out robe, and a novice staff. It also came with an F-rank skeleton summoning spell. The robe was useless to Leo since he had 0 spirit. But this staff actually looked pretty decent. Combined with his 20 strength, it should be great for bashing things. He then asked the girl about his beginner quest. The girl smiled and said, escape the Misty Cave. But you must be careful not to kill any skeleton soldiers, and you must find the fastest way out. Before she could finish saying otherwise, Leo entered the dungeon. As soon as he entered, he found himself surrounded by piles of bones. That's when he remembered the NPC girl had mentioned something. Whatever, I'll ignore it for now. How hard could a beginner quest really be? But a second later, he felt a chill run down his spine. He looked back and saw a skeleton soldier. It bared its teeth and lunged at Leo. Without hesitation, Leo grabbed the worn-out staff. With a whoosh, he smashed it right onto the skeleton's head. With a loud crack, the skull shattered. Only a fragment of the skull remained on the ground, emitting a faint necrotic aura. Damn, this thing has no fighting spirit at all. One hit, and it's dead. Detected player killed a skeleton soldier with melee combat. Reward, 1 free attribute point. For successfully killing the first monster, reward, A rank passive skill, miraculous strength. Every 1 point of strength is converted into 2 points of attack power. Leo didn't hesitate to put that attribute point into strength. In other words, 21 points of strength can deal 42 points of damage. This is another god-tier skill. Just then, countless skeletal arms burst from the ground, followed by a horde of menacing skeleton soldiers who immediately charged toward Leo, claws and teeth bared. Whatever, the priority right now is to finish the novice quest. Waiting until the skeleton soldiers reached him, Leo grabbed his club and smashed 4 of them to pieces. This is exhilarating. Every swing earns me 4 free attribute points. At that moment, Leo reached level 2. His strength attribute also increased. Keep in mind that for a normal newcomer, having 10 points in a single attribute is considered genius. But surely this novice quest isn't just about grinding levels? That would be far too simple. But just then, massive skeletal heads suddenly emerged from the ground. It turned out to be a level 3 skeleton captain. No wonder it had such a powerful aura. If this guy stabs me once, I'll have a massive hole in me. However, its agility is only a few points. Having said that, Leo swung the staff in his hand and smashed it right onto the skeleton captain's head with a loud bang. But unexpectedly, the attack was blocked by a shield. Then, the skeleton captain countered with a sudden spear thrust. Luckily, Leo was quick enough to dodge it. I didn't expect this guy's intelligence to be so high, and a single strike could easily smash the ground open. Taking advantage of the skeleton captain's pause in attack, Leo seized the opportunity and swung his staff horizontally at him. Then he leaped up and struck the skeleton captain on the head, thinking, "Let's see if you can block this one-hit kill, you damn skeleton." This blow dealt a fatal 50 points of damage to the skeleton captain. Killing the skeleton captain rewarded him with 3 free attribute points. At this moment, Leo was completely bewildered. Facing such a powerful skeleton captain, he wondered how the other beginners managed to complete the quest. Principal Sterling mentioned that killing monsters would drop soul cores, which would grant a random reward when opened. He received a D-rank skeleton set, which guaranteed a critical hit on the next attack, but it was only a single-use item. But a second later, he heard several more skeletons bursting from the ground behind him. This is never-ending, damn it, he thought, as there were far more of them than before. He knew he had to deal with them quickly, because if he accidentally got poked to death by the skeletons, he'd be in real trouble. After a hearty battle, Leo's level rose to 3, with his experience now at 20 to 30. His strength also reached a terrifying 46 points. Meanwhile, inside the Royal Academy of Sioux City, most of the students had also completed their class change quests. They were all showing off their new classes. But Leo's best friend, Benny, wondered why he hadn't come out yet. He hoped nothing bad had happened. Inside the dungeon, Leo finally managed to kill all the skeletons. But the system still hadn't notified him that the quest was complete. Suddenly, an old voice rang out. "You've bullied the skeletons too much." Hearing this, Leo's eyes widened. What's going on? Then he noticed the skulls seemed to come to life, whooshing past him. The next second, thousands of skulls gathered together, slowly forming a giant skeletal body. It was actually a level 10 Shadow Skeleton King. Although it was wounded, the aura it emitted made Leo feel suffocated. Why was there a level 10 boss in a beginner quest? This was practically a graveyard for new players. But the Shadow Skeleton King didn't care. He swung his club, intending to smash Leo's head. While Leo was wondering a million things, the Skeleton King's attack struck instantly. With a bang, dust flew hundreds of meters into the air. Luckily, Leo was quick and dodged back. He had almost lost his life. Leo noticed that while the boss had high strength, his agility wasn't great. This was his only advantage against the Shadow Skeleton King. But the terrifying 60 points of defense made Leo's skin crawl. He wondered if he could even break through it. Using his superior agility, he attacked the Skeleton King. Although it only dealt 32 damage, it proved that if he kept attacking, he could still take it down. With that in mind, Leo began swinging his staff like a club, pummeling the Shadow Skeleton King. The Shadow Skeleton King's health bar instantly dropped by half. It turns out this guy was all show and no substance. Leo just needed a few more hits to end this. But the Skeleton King's next few words left Leo completely stunned. The Skeleton King roared, "I've guarded this beginner dungeon for years, and I've never seen a rookie dare to bully me like this. Not only did you slaughter my skeleton minions, but you actually broke through my defense. If it weren't for the debuff caused by the death of my minions, I would have crushed you with one blow long ago. I absolutely cannot let you leave here alive." Clearly, the Shadow Skeleton King's aura was now even more imposing than before. Not only had his strength increased, but his speed was also much faster. It seemed that a direct confrontation was no longer an option. Leo had to restrict his movements first. After observing for a while, Leo noticed that the rock the boss was standing on could collapse at any moment. So, he lured the Skeleton King to attack in the direction of the rock. Once he found the perfect moment, Leo didn't forget to taunt him. "Come and get me, you big dummy." Provoked, the Skeleton King didn't hesitate to swing his death scythe and slash at Leo. Leo intentionally left an opening. He took a small scratch. But the Skeleton King's attack smashed right through the rocks behind him. A massive rockfall then came crashing down on the Skeleton King. Leo used his speed to dodge the debris. The Skeleton King was screaming in pain, and his health had dropped to a fifth. Leo gritted his teeth. His stamina was clearly running low, but he knew this opportunity wouldn't last. He had to strike while the enemy was vulnerable. He immediately equipped the skeleton gauntlets and delivered a fatal blow to the Shadow Skeleton King. The Shadow Skeleton King's eyes filled with terror. He looked on in despair as Leo charged toward him. With a loud boom, the Shadow Skeleton King was completely obliterated. The system notified him that the beginner mission, Escape the Mist Cave, was complete. Congratulations, Leo was now officially a player of the inner world. His level jumped from 3 to 5. For the first kill of the Skeleton King, he was rewarded with 30 free attribute points. And he also obtained a Skeleton King ring. Once equipped, the ring increased normal damage by 50%, with a 24-hour cooldown. Not bad, Leo thought. It's not as strong as the gauntlets, but at least I can use it continuously. But then, Leo realized something was wrong. The system had credited him with a first kill. So how had the other students cleared the cave? I'll worry about that later. First, I need to get out of here. Just as Leo returned to the Academy Square, his good buddy Benny rushed over to him. What took you so long with a simple beginner quest? I thought something had happened to you in there. Leo wondered if everyone else had finished their quests and come out a long time ago. Benny told him that the last person to finish had come out 5 hours ago. By the way, Leo, my class is a mage. What's yours? Just then, a figure suddenly appeared. So you're the last one to come out, Leo. The newcomer was Victor, the school heartthrob and class monitor. Do you guys know what my class is? This guy loves picking fights for no reason. At that moment, Principal Sterling's voice suddenly rang out from the stage. Students, now that you've all completed your class registration, everyone will participate in the beginner trials tomorrow. Now, please introduce your talents and classes. I'm a warrior with a D-rank talent. I'm an assassin. I'm a healer, a mage-type healer. I'm a paladin tank with a B-rank strength talent. Then Victor suddenly spoke up. My class is a sword cultivator. Everyone gasped in surprise. Sword cultivators are incredibly powerful classes in the inner world. The class monitor really is the chosen one. Hearing this, Principal Sterling felt pleased. Very good. A B-rank talent already puts you in the ranks of geniuses. He then asked Leo what his class was. Leo calmly replied that his class was a Necromancer. As for my talent, I can't disclose that for now. Principal Sterling was shocked. The Necromancer is a unique hidden class. Rumor has it there was once a Necromancer who single-handedly dominated the entire empire. Hearing this, everyone gasped. Holy crap, is that for real? Victor also looked completely incredulous. How is that possible? But so what if he's a Necromancer? Mages are notoriously squishy. Their biggest fear is a close-range assassination by an assassin. Plus, spending years around undead creatures means their physical constitution is much weaker than that of an average player. Their casting time is extremely long. Without teammates to protect them, it's a useless class. High-burst classes like assassins and sword cultivators are the natural counters to Necromancers. I can't say for sure, but his talent rank must be garbage. Meanwhile, the other students looked at Leo with envy. A hidden class, yet he's so low profile. He's truly a role model for us. At that moment, Leo was breaking out in a cold sweat. A Necromancer who can't even summon a single tiny skeleton might not even survive the beginner trial. He had no choice but to keep a low profile. Principal Sterling couldn't help but praise Leo. You've finally made a name for yourself. Once you finish the beginner trial, you'll definitely get into one of the top universities in the country. Alright students, that's all for today's lesson. Go home early and get ready for tomorrow's beginner trial. After the assessment, Leo returned home. In his memory, he would call out to his mother upon arriving home. In this world, parents were the gentlest people to him. But when he was 6, his parents said they were going to the capital. From then on, they vanished mysteriously. And Leo became an orphan. It had been 12 whole years. Where on earth did they go? Leo vowed to get into Kyoto University to uncover the truth. In the blink of an eye, the day of the trial arrived. Principal Sterling announced, for today's novice trial, I have only one requirement. Everyone must return safely. If you're not confident, remember to withdraw immediately. I'd rather you fail the trial than die inside. Hearing this, the students immediately broke into a cold sweat. Could the trial mission really be that dangerous? Principal Sterling continued, don't be too nervous. Generally, novice dungeons don't cause player deaths. But there are always exceptions. Once, a major accident occurred in a novice dungeon. An entire class of over 40 people vanished. To this day, there's been no sign of them, dead or alive. All we know is that the dungeon was called Dream Demon Village. Hearing this, some students already started having second thoughts. But I hope you won't panic. As long as you exit the inner world in time when facing danger, you'll be fine. All right, everyone, prepare to enter. As the second hand hit 0, the surrounding space began to shake. The novice trial had officially begun. Soon, the students arrived at a village. A sign above the entrance read, Dream Demon Village. Everyone, follow me. Today, Victor will lead you all to victory. I don't care if you're a necromancer, Leo. I'll prove to everyone that I'm the true leader of this class and the strongest man in the room. Leo looked confused. He wondered why there had been no system notifications since entering the dungeon. Just then, a beam of light appeared behind them. Immediately after, a purple-faced middle-aged man appeared before the group. So young. What a pity. The group looked confused. Excuse me, sir, what do you mean by that? Are you an NPC? The purple-faced man didn't answer, but instead let out a soft sigh. Welcome to the novice trial, Dream Demon Village. Difficulty, Novice S rank. This rank is equivalent to a standard E rank dungeon. Trial requirements. Not only must you leave alive, but you must also uncover the core secret of Dream Demon Village. The students were shocked. This is the Dream Demon Village, where no one has ever escaped, and over 40 people have perished. I don't want to play anymore. I want to go home to my mommy. Seeing this, Victor shouted. Don't panic. I'll make sure everyone gets out of Dream Demon Village safely. Leo, standing to the side, couldn't help but think that an E-rank dungeon requires at least a beginner rank to clear, but since they were all just apprentices, it was impossible. In the inner world, levels are divided into ranks. Levels 1 to 10 are apprentices, and every 10 levels, one can advance to the next rank. Just then, the students trying to leave were pushed back by an invisible force. The purple-faced man said coldly, "Stop struggling. Once you've entered Dream Demon Village, don't even think about leaving." The scene immediately descended into chaos, with students screaming that they were all going to die. Meanwhile, Victor kept encouraging everyone. Leo thought to himself, no wonder previous classes were completely wiped out. It seems we must uncover the core secret of Dream Demon Village to escape. This man seems eccentric, but he doesn't appear malicious, so he is probably not an enemy. There is no need to worry too much. Since we are already here, we might as well make the best of it. Hearing this, Victor said, I get it. You are telling us to relax and face this with confidence and composure, right? The purple-faced man remained calm and replied, something like that. Since you are here, you might as well prepare to be buried here. The entire place fell silent, and terror appeared on everyone's faces. All right, I'm done teasing you. I am Walter, the village chief of Dream Demon Village. I only have 2 requirements for staying here. First, you can stay in the empty houses as you please. But whatever you do, do not touch the black stones on the doors. As for the second, you must return to your houses and close all doors and windows before dark. No matter what happens, do not open them out of curiosity. Hearing this, Leo asked why they couldn't come out after dark. You'll find out for yourselves once night falls. Afterward, everyone began choosing their houses. Just then, the healer from their class suddenly walked over. Leo, if things get dangerous, remember to protect me, okay? My class is a healer. I can keep healing you. Zoe, have some shame. The whole class is watching. Hearing this, the healer looked annoyed. I'll do whatever I want. What is a flat chest like you care about? Hearing herself called a flat chest, the white-haired girl immediately bristled. You think looking like a cow is a good thing? That's just excess fat from being overweight. Right then, one student looked out the window and gasped in delight. Grandma, I missed you so much. Outside the window, the figure of an old woman suddenly appeared. My dear grandson, Grandma is so cold. Open the window and let Grandma give you a hug, all right? Seeing this, the student didn't hesitate to open the window. Grandma, I'll open it for you right now. Just then, Leo shouted for them to stop. But it was already too late. An evil red light flashed in the old woman's eyes as she lunged at the student, looking as if she was about to bite his head off. At that critical moment, a staff suddenly appeared. Sandbind. As soon as the words were spoken, the old woman was ensnared by a vortex of sand. It was Benny who had acted. Get over here, I can't hold her for long. Seeing this, the student bolted. The old woman had transformed into a monster radiating blood chi, a level 3 common demon that even possessed a charm skill. The group broke into a cold sweat. Are even the mobs this insane in a beginner S-rank dungeon? But before they could finish speaking, the nightmare monster lunged toward Benny. However, Claire, the white-haired warrior, blocked it with her shield skill. But her health continued to drop. Leo, hurry and summon the undead to restrain this nightmare monster. Healer, heal me quickly. Hearing this, the healer immediately cast a healing spell. Leo, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and summon the undead. But unexpectedly, Leo leaped forward and slammed his staff down on the nightmare monster. This scene left Benny completely stunned, his mouth hanging open. Leo, that's not how you're supposed to use a staff. If a dream demon gets close to you, you're dead. A huge -50 appeared over the demon's head. Seeing this, the other students were completely bewildered. Is this how all necromancers fight their enemies? A dream demon with 50 HP was just one shot. Look quickly. The slain dream demon turned into a black stone, and it was starting to dissipate. The symbols on it were identical to the ones on the door. Leo was also feeling confused. Why didn't he get any attribute points for killing the dream demon? Time passed, and the next day arrived, thanks to Leo and the others last night. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unthinkable. I think sticking close to Leo is definitely the way to go. He took down that dream demon with a stick. Hearing this, Victor scoffed. If I had been there, I would never have let a girl take the damage. Hiding behind a woman is not the act of a real man. After saying that, he struck a cool pose. It's just a mere dream demon. My blade can destroy anything. Just then, a sudden sound of panic echoed through the room. Capture all of them. Kill anyone who dares to resist on the spot. Seeing this, Victor immediately stepped in front of the group. Village Chief, is there some kind of misunderstanding? Misunderstanding? You know exactly what you did last night. You dared to break the rules and kill the guardian spirit of Dream Demon Village. Meanwhile, Leo was inwardly shocked. The number of villagers was about the same as his own class, and their ages were quite similar as well. Hearing this, Victor looked distressed. Village Chief, is there any way to make things right? There is. The person who offended the guardian spirit must stay outside when night falls tonight. I wonder if you have the courage for that. Staying outside is just a death sentence. No one knows what actually happens at night. Just then, Leo stepped forward. I'm the one who killed the guardian spirit. I'll stay outside tonight and await the guardian spirit's punishment. Victor was shocked to hear this. Are you crazy? You're just asking for death. If you want to make a name for yourself, this isn't the way to do it. Village Chief, I'm sorry, my classmate isn't thinking straight. Please don't take him seriously. Leo replied indifferently. Don't worry, class monitor. There are some things I need to verify personally. Maybe this can help us leave Dream Demon Village. Did you find the core secret of Dream Demon Village? Most likely. We'll only know for sure after we verify it tonight. Night fell in the blink of an eye. A rustling sound echoed from the distance. A dream demon slowly approached from the rooftop. But just as the dream demon was about to reach Leo, several sand vortices suddenly appeared. Victor, hurry up. I can only hold it for a second. Don't worry. As a powerhouse sword cultivator, my blade can cut down any enemy in the world. But no sooner had he spoken than the demon's claws appeared right before his eyes. Victor hurriedly thrust his sword a few times to dodge the dream demon's attack. It's so fast. If Leo, a mage, could crush this thing, then I, a powerhouse sword cultivator, can definitely do it too. With that, he charged at the dream demon and slashed with his sword. A beautiful arc of sword chi followed. Meanwhile, the healer and the white-haired tank tried to step forward to help. But after trying for a while, they still couldn't break Leo's chains. It seems only Victor's sword can cut them open. But Leo said it wasn't necessary. He gave a sudden tug and snapped them instantly. This scene shocked the healer and the white-haired tank, who exclaimed, Leo, are you really a necromancer? Meanwhile, Victor was in the middle of a fierce battle with the nightmare. Zoe, hurry and heal Victor. But Victor flatly refused. True power is forged in the heat of battle. Scars are a man's medals of honor. Benny reminded him from the side. The weakness is in the head. Leo killed it just by hitting its head with his staff. I see. I should have realized that sooner. Now, watch closely as I show you how it's done. With a few swift sounds, Victor unleashed several sword strikes in the blink of an eye. He then struck a cool pose and said calmly, It's over. But a second later, his jaw dropped. Benny, are you sure the nightmare's weakness is its head? You're not screwing with me, are you? Benny looked just as confused. Leo clearly hit the nightmare's head. I get it. The problem is the person. It seems Victor is no match for Leo. Hearing this, Victor's pride took a massive hit. To think a powerful sword cultivator's skill was inferior to that of a necromancer. Victor, get back here. With that health, one more hit, and you're dead. The healer won't even have time to save you. Hearing this, Victor remained unmoved. As he faced the dream demon's attack, a powerful sword aura erupted from his body. In an instant, he unleashed several sword strikes. The dream demon was left with only 5 HP. I have to prove I'm stronger than Leo. This final strike will send you on your way. With a loud thud, the dream demon was instantly killed. Victor was immediately furious. Damn you, Leo. You stole my kill. Leo replied indifferently. Thanks for the hard work, class monitor. He watched as the black stone in his hand slowly dissipated. As expected, it's still not here. Just then, several nightmares came rushing toward them. Everyone, get inside the house quickly. I think I know how to clear this level. Leo, tell us quickly, how do we clear it? Don't be in such a rush. You'll find out tomorrow. You lowly outsiders. I didn't expect you to actually take down another guardian spirit. No matter how silver-tongued you are today, you must die. You cannot leave the Dream Demon Village. Hearing this, Leo remained calm and composed. Village Chief. Are you sure you're actually villagers from around here? Obviously. Our families have lived here for generations. Stop trying to stall. You're dead today. Seeing this, Leo sighed. At this point, it's time to reveal the truth about Dream Demon Village. The truth is, the village chief was shocked. What do you mean by that? Leo replied, what I mean is, you and you. None of you are actually original residents of Dream Demon Village. You're the students who disappeared in the Dream Demon Village dungeon years ago. That's why we're all currently trapped in an illusion. The chief sneered. Kid, you're just scared for your life and trying to stall. Leo gave a slight smile. Then, he pulled out a black stone. The village chief was suddenly shocked. The guardian stone is the supreme holy relic of the village. What bullshit holy relic, Leo countered. This is exactly what created the illusion of Dream Demon Village that we're in. With that, he slammed the black stone onto the ground. As the black stone shattered, an invisible barrier suddenly appeared in the air and slowly cracked open. At the same time, the village chief clutched his head and screamed in pain. Countless memories of the past suddenly flooded his mind. Don't be afraid, everyone. We'll find a way out. Then, a jolt of electricity surged through the village chief's brain. He realized, I remember now. I'm the class monitor. Just then, a system notification appeared. A player has uncovered the core secret of Dream Demon Village. Thank you, student. It's about time we headed back. Leo and his group prepared to teleport back to the trial platform. But after waiting for a while, there was no response. Suddenly, the system chimed. Congratulations, player, for destroying 5 Nightmare Blackstones. You have triggered an E-rank hidden quest, Steal the Heart of the Nightmare. Outside the field, Principal Sterling looked confused. The quest is complete, so why haven't they returned? The other students were completely baffled by this E-rank quest. The system didn't provide any hints at all. That was when Leo seemed to realize something. Seeing this, a student quickly asked, do you know how to complete the quest? Leo, please lead us all to seize this incredible opportunity. But just then, a red claw suddenly appeared. A second later, several nightmare monsters charged toward them. Seeing this, everyone panicked and lost their formation. Leo, however, just stood there quietly. Then, they engaged in battle. The healer, warrior, and mage each played their roles. Victor, the main damage dealer, swung his longsword down. But he found that his full-strength attack only dealt 10 damage to the nightmare monster. The Lolita tank and the healer were both running low on health. Leo flew forward, swung his staff like a club, and instantly killed the nightmare monster. But 2 more shot towards Leo. Leo swung his staff and killed the 2 dream demons. As expected of a hidden dungeon, the drop rate is high. Let's see what this is. Little fairy necklace. It can increase a mage's skill damage by 5%. This gear is perfect for Benny. Then, the group prepared to keep killing dream demons. Just 1 more kill, and they'll reach level 6. Plus, there's a chance to drop the gear they need. This hidden quest is truly wonderful. But just then, the ground suddenly began to shake. Suddenly, a huge hole appeared beneath their feet. Caught off guard, the group fell right in. While they were wondering why there was such a strong stench here, the healer suddenly cried out. Quick, look, what is that? A giant monster appeared before them. It was obvious that the stench was coming from it. Opening the panel, it turned out to be the level 10 dungeon boss, the Dream Demon King. But it was currently in a deep sleep. If they woke it up, they would be relentlessly hunted. Seeing the boss's stats, Leo immediately broke into a cold sweat. The Dream Demon King, also a level 10 rare boss, was far stronger than the Skeleton King. Do you think the Dream Demon heart from the quest is actually this guy's heart? He could probably slap us into meat patties with a single blow. Victor awkwardly suggested that they should just let it go. But Leo flatly refused. With his current strength and a bit of brute force, if he could just keep dealing damage, he might have a chance to take down the Dream Demon King. But a single mistake would mean instant death. Although the boss's attack was high, its defense was quite low. By playing to his strengths and exploiting the boss's weakness, Leo felt they might actually have a chance. All you need to do is help me distract the Dream Demon King. I guarantee I can kill it. We have to coordinate perfectly. Otherwise, the consequences will be disastrous. Everyone agreed with Leo's plan. Our lives are in your hands now. If it's really impossible, don't try to be a hero. There's no shame in running away from a boss this strong. After a brief rest, Leo flew toward the Dream Demon King. As long as he didn't attack, it wouldn't wake up. The first strike was crucial. He had to find the most vulnerable spot on its body. That's when a constantly beating heart caught Leo's attention. It seemed this was definitely the Dream Demon King's weakest point. With that, he swung his staff violently, triggering the passive effect of the Skeleton King's ring to deal a massive critical hit of 508 damage to the Dream Demon King. Victor and his companion were stunned, their mouths hanging open. Is this the kind of damage a mage can actually deal? Even a high-level warrior probably couldn't do that. Because Leo shattered the Nightmare King's heart, the sleeping monster woke up. The quest changed into an A-rank mission to defeat the Nightmare King. Having been attacked, the Nightmare King roared at them. The pressure he released instantly left them feeling suffocated. Everyone, get ready. Stick to the plan. The Nightmare King looked at them coldly. Despicable humans, how dare you disturb my slumber? Now prepare to die. With that, he swung his giant claws at them. Seeing this, Victor stepped forward and met the attack with his massive greatsword. But his armor-piercing sword Chi only dealt a tiny bit of damage to the Nightmare King. Why the hell did Leo get a 508-point critical hit just by swinging a stick? I refuse to believe it. Even if I'm just chipping away at you, I'll kill you eventually. After a flurry of frantic attacks, he actually managed to deal a whopping 2 points of critical damage to the Nightmare King. Even the Nightmare King couldn't stand to watch this. If you're that eager to die, I'll be happy to oblige. A true man should carry a sword and achieve legendary feats. Victor, do not fear death. Bring it on. Then he shouted to the others, do you guys really just want to watch me die? Just as the Nightmare King's claw strike was about to hit. Luckily, Benny the healer used his skill just in time to block it. Even so, the Nightmare King's claw attack broke through the shield. Thanks to the healer's support, Victor barely managed to withstand it. Leo, are you ready yet? I'm about to freaking die over here. I'm coming. Just as he spoke, Leo suddenly lunged forward. Grabbing his staff, he dealt another 182 points of damage to the Nightmare King. Warning, warning. The Nightmare Realm will be activated. Seeing this, Leo was bewildered, wondering what on earth this was. The Nightmare King suddenly erupted with a surge of powerful energy. It instantly surged toward the group. Oh no, it's a continuous area of effect attack. Healer, hurry. Seeing this, Leo recalled that the village chief and the others must have fallen for this move. That's why they were trapped in the illusion for so long. He had to interrupt the skill. With that, he swung his staff down. The Nightmare King only had 128 health remaining. I'll take you down while you're vulnerable. Then, he leaped into the air, intending to smash the Nightmare King's head. Die, Nightmare King. In the blink of an eye, Leo's broken staff slashed across the Nightmare King's head. This strike dealt exactly 128 points of damage. Congratulations, player Leo, for achieving the first kill of the Dream Demon Village boss. Reward, 30 free attribute points. Since Leo killed him using close quarters combat, he also received an additional 10 attribute points. Furthermore, Leo's level jumped up by 2. The system will distribute rewards based on the player's ratings. We did it. I can't believe we actually succeeded. The 4 of them also received skill books suited to their classes based on their ratings. Leo's player rating was A rank. He obtained a B rank skill book, Withered Wood. Although he couldn't use the skill book for now, at least the Dream Demon King dropped a soul core. And a B rank beginner weapon, the Dragon Piercing Sword. It had 17,100 attack power, ignored 30% of armor, and increased critical damage by 20%. Class, Warrior. Looking at the Dragon Piercing Sword, Victor was practically drooling. But Leo was unimpressed, thinking, what kind of trash is this? With that, he tossed it straight to Victor. Seeing this, Victor's eyes widened in shock. You're just giving me a B-rank weapon like this? Even if you had the money, you might not be able to buy this sword outside. You could easily trade this for a house in the capital. I don't care, just take it, Leo replied. After saying that, he checked to see if there was any other equipment. This trash Dream Demon King only dropped 1 item. Whatever, he decided to check his attributes first. His strength had indeed increased. 20 health points is just too low. I'm as fragile as glass. My passive restriction means I can only put points into strength. It seems I'll have to find other ways for a strength-based mage to survive. I need to find a balance between playing it safe and taking risks. Afterward, the 5 of them were teleported back to the academy. The class monitor and Leo are finally back. Upon hearing this, Principal Sterling immediately ran over. You're finally back. What on earth happened? Leo then explained everything. After hearing Leo's story, Principal Sterling couldn't stop grinning. Now he could finally hold his head high. The 5 of you will definitely be the most sought-after recruits for the top academies. Then, the principal showered Leo with endless praise. Victor, standing nearby, was clearly not convinced. One day I'll surpass you. Just then, a student rushed in frantically. Principal, representatives from both Huaqing and Kyoto University have arrived. And they're specifically asking for these 5. I haven't had a chance to report this yet. The top universities certainly have fast intel. It looks like I can end my career on a perfect note before I retire. The two university representatives then exchanged pleasantries with the principal. These 5 must be the students who completed the Dream Demon Village quest. I am Professor Paul from Kyoto University. Our school is in desperate need of talented individuals like you. If you're interested, you can enroll at any time. At this moment, Professor Vance from Huaqing University was not pleased. You're really just recruiting people without even giving them a test. Every student needs to undergo an ability test before enrollment, and we need to collect your data to see if you meet the admission standards. Leo wondered if verifying his professional abilities would expose his true strength. But regardless, he had to go to the capital to find clues about his parents. He decided to stop worrying and just see how things played out first. The first one to take the test was Victor. Victor was a sword cultivator with a tall build and sharp features, who had already reached level 5 with a B-rank talent right after the novice stage. Not bad, not bad. Young man, come and try your sword against mine. Professor Vance, you'd better be careful then. With that, Victor activated the world-severing sword skill and lunged at Professor Vance. This kid actually broke through my defense in one strike. Although he was a spear cultivator, a class not known for defense, Professor Vance was still level 25. The young man is truly impressive. Your world-severing sword is a very rare attack skill that breaks a surface from a single point, allowing you to infinitely amplify the attack power at the tip of the blade. I hope you don't slack off and keep working hard. Just then, Professor Paul spoke up. Is that all? Judging by the speed of your strike, your agility must be very high as well, otherwise you wouldn't be able to produce such a high attack. Hearing this, Professor Vance thought to himself that a student this talented must be recruited for Huaqing. Then, both teachers extended an olive branch to Victor. But Victor asked them to let him finish the exam first. Then it was the healer's turn, Zoe. She was also quite impressive, as she could already cast area heal at level 4. Next, they tested the Lolita tank, Lexi. Professor Vance found her to be a total freak. With such strong defense at only level 4. Her passive skills were like a hedgehog's, meaning attacking her was like attacking yourself. For a pure tank, this skill is incredibly practical. This student must also be in a tank class, right? Hearing this, Benny replied that he was a mage. Professor Vance was baffled. What kind of monsters is this school producing? First a tank with a Lolita's appearance, and now a 300-pound guy claiming to be a mage. Are you really a mage, kid? Why can't I feel a single bit of magic fluctuation? Benny didn't answer, but instead silently cast popcorn, causing the ground beneath Professor Vance's feet to explode. I'm a level 25 spear cultivator, and yet I was sneak attacked by this level 5 little mage. He even blasted away 3 points of my health. These kids really are a bunch of monsters. He decided that once he returned, he would keep a close eye on Justin, who had managed to cultivate 5 geniuses all at once. Maybe he's some big shot hiding his identity. Finally, it was Leo's turn to be tested. A level 7 Necromancer. Talent level unknown. But he was a full 2 levels higher than the other 4. Could it be that his talent level is so low that he's afraid to disclose it? Regardless, let's just run the test and see the results first. I'm curious to see what kind of summon a Necromancer like you can produce. But Leo's next move left everyone stunned. You're a Necromancer. Why are you charging straight at me? It looked like some kind of close-range burst summon skill. But Professor Vance suddenly realized something was off. Looking at the situation, was he actually trying to punch him? Professor Vance thought to himself, how much strength could a Necromancer possibly have? He figured he might as well just take the hit. Unexpectedly, Leo punched him so hard, he was sent flying. A critical hit of a full 200 points. He hit the ground with a loud thud. Everyone present was left wondering, what's going on? He had just punched the level 25 Professor Vance across the room. Professor Paul, standing nearby, looked completely bewildered. Old man, what happened to you? Even if you were going easy on him, this is taking it too far. Going easy my ass. What kind of monster is this kid? That punch nearly gave me a heart attack. It seemed Professor Vance wasn't lying. Luckily, Professor Vance stepped up for the test, otherwise I might have been the one embarrassed. It seems this kid is the most terrifying of the 5. Then, Leo directly stated his choice. Professor, I want to enter Kyoto University's Warrior Body Cultivation major. Hearing this, Professor Miller was stunned. Joining a major that doesn't match one's own profession was unprecedented in the entire history of education. Therefore, he had to apply to the school first. Professor Miller then reported the situation to the principal. Hearing this, Principal Sterling interrupted him. Professor Miller, what on earth are you talking about? It's true, Principal. He just sent Professor Vance from Huaqing University flying with one punch. It didn't seem like Professor Miller was lying. But since the matter was so important, the principal decided to handle it personally, opening a holographic transmission to invite him. Student Leo, I heard you want to join Kyoto University. Our school welcomes you at any time and will provide you with generous benefits. Principal Sterling, there's no need to say more. I've already decided to join Kyoto University. Then, Principal Sterling sent invitations to the other 4 at the same time. Seeing this, Professor Vance was suddenly annoyed. Your Liangdu University is going too far. At that moment, Leo spoke up and asked, Principal Sterling, do you happen to know my father Arthur? You're the son of Arthur and Sylvia, aren't you? No wonder you felt so familiar. Do you know where they are now? Principal Sterling told him she hadn't seen them in over 10 years. But she was certain that both of his parents were incredibly powerful. However, they've been missing for over a decade since that incident. She added that at this point, the outlook was likely grim. She also mentioned an exclusive dungeon his parents had visited before they vanished, and told Leo he must make a trip there someday, as his parents had left something behind for him. A few days later, to search for clues about his parents, Leo took Benny to a mysterious portal. They were in the process of rolling for a dungeon, and they both rolled the exclusive dungeon, the Venom Cave. Just as the NPC girl was explaining the mission, Leo walked straight into the dungeon without a second glance. Seeing this, Benny rushed after him, shouting that he should at least listen to the briefing before heading in. Leo asked, confused, there are mission tips. Of course there are. Otherwise, how on earth did you clear the skeleton cave? Don't tell me you actually just fought your way through the skeletons to win. Leo's really something else. Through the NPC's introduction, they learned that there was once an ancient, evil tribe in the southeast, whose people were known for their extreme brutality and their expertise in breeding poisonous insects. They could poison enemies without them ever noticing. Those poisons suffered agonizing pain. The venomous insects would breed inside their bodies and devour their flesh until the host died. The mission required finding this evil tribe and eliminating all the venomous insects. The rewards would depend on the level of completion. A friendly reminder, this dungeon requires 5 players to open. Therefore, the system matched Leo with 3 teammates. Afterward, the group introduced themselves. The woman was named Fiona, a fire mage. The blue-haired one was her brother, Felix, and the one next to him was named Leon. I'm a mage, just call me Benny, Benny said. And this is Leo, Benny added. Seeing that opening the door required some thinking, Felix decided to try brute force. But after trying for a while, the stone door didn't budge an inch. Damn it, this door is actually immune to physical attacks. Hearing it was immune, Leo walked over. Fiona started to say that she already knew the answer. But before she could finish, Leo used sheer brute force to smash the stone door to pieces. The 2 beside him were shocked. Isn't he a necromancer? Am I in the wrong dungeon? Is this not for mages? But Leo didn't miss the chance to show off. I just wanted to see if I could push it open, Leo claimed. I didn't expect it to collapse the moment I touched it. A short while later, another door appeared. Moreover, the ground around it was covered in red flowers. Everyone be careful, don't touch anything, Leo warned. But as soon as he spoke, Benny started screaming in pain. You're too late, Leo. That's when they realized they had all been poisoned. With their health dropping like this, Leo knew he could only hold out for about half an hour. Damn, my health is still too low. I have to find a way out. With that, the group rushed toward the stone door. What the hell is this? Puzzles and riddles? What a pain. But Leo didn't care about any of that. He used sheer brute force to smash the stone door to pieces. This puzzle? Even your father couldn't solve it. Is this guy really a necromancer? He's more aggressive than a professional warrior. While they were discussing where to go next, a young girl suddenly appeared behind them. Hello, big brothers and sisters. My name is Sasha. Where are you all heading? But then, Sasha's eyes widened in surprise. It looks like you've been poisoned by the spider lily. Quickly, follow me to the Fong Spirit Cave for the antidote, or it'll be too late. The girl mentioned the Fong Spirit Cave, not the Venom Cave. They had no choice but to follow her. They followed Sasha to a village. Sasha quickly explained the situation to a woman there. Shortly after, the woman arrived carrying several bowls of steaming 5-poisoned soup. Benny, you have a sturdier build. So why don't you drink first? Hearing this, Benny immediately refused. But Leo didn't care and downed his bowl in one go. But Leo didn't care and just drank it, immediately finding that the poison had vanished from his body. Seeing that everyone was cured, the woman in black hurriedly urged them to leave. Venom Cave doesn't welcome outsiders. The little girl in black suddenly turned around and spoke. They just got cured of the poison, and you're already kicking them out. Don't worry, don't listen to my mom's nonsense. You guys can stay here tonight. Leo didn't think much of it since he really wasn't in great shape, but he felt something was off about the girl. Big brothers, you should get some rest first. After saying that, she slammed the door shut. Dad, Mom, let's go quickly. Tonight is the night of the full moon. It's time to begin. Sasha led her parents deep into the woods, where they were surrounded by many villagers. Strangely, Sasha seemed to have grown much taller. Standing before her was a dried-up well. Then, she began to chant. "Oh, great swarm. Please protect Venom Cave, grant us favorable weather, and keep us free from disease." She then cut her finger and dripped fresh blood into the well. The next second, tens of thousands of flying insects shrieked as they flew out of the well, forming a long black serpent. And those used as sacrifices could only let out desperate screams. In the blink of an eye, they were turned into piles of white bones. Felix, standing nearby, cried out in shock. They're actually using living people for sacrifices. Leo realized that with just a few of them, they couldn't possibly handle this many venomous insects and villagers. So he decided they should head back first. Just then, Sasha, who had grown into a beautiful young woman, noticed them. "Humph, these little mice actually dare to cause trouble." Sasha tilted her chin and said seductively to the big man beside her, "Brock, go play with those little foreign mice. Remember, don't break them. I want them alive." Meanwhile, Leo and his group had returned to the house. What should we do next? Seeing how devout the villagers were toward the insects. If they found out they were here to exterminate the venomous bugs, they'd likely all be captured and fed to them. Just then, a strange rustling sound echoed from outside. Suddenly, the five of them were surrounded by a swarm of venomous scorpions. Seeing this, Felix immediately cast a fire barrier to protect the group. Leo swung his staff and smashed it down into the swarm. Since the scorpions were too weak to provide any attribute points, Leo just went on a killing spree. Benny then used his sand-binding skill, followed by an earth explosion technique. The surrounding scorpions were instantly blown to bits. "Not bad, Benny. He's actually learned how to chain attacks." But Benny said, "Don't even get me started. I almost ran out of mana doing that." Just then, a figure suddenly appeared. "You've got a lot of nerve." The hulking Brock started talking trash as soon as he arrived. "I only wanted to teach you a lesson. But you actually used dark arts to slaughter my children. You'll die in agony, your heart's devoured by 10,000 insects, for what you've done." Hearing this, Benny immediately hit him with another earth explosion. He looked like a pro with those moves, but the damage was only 25. How delusional. Thinking you could hurt me with such petty tricks. You're all so naive. Because NPCs and monsters in the inner world are completely different. Their personal stats are hidden unless they've been revealed. With an agility of 15 and the heart-devouring insect control skill, any single stat he had was almost on par with a boss. This was simply not a quest that beginners could complete. Even Leo felt that something was off. Could there be something special about this exclusive dungeon? Whatever. Let's just take down Brock first. With that, Leo lunged at Brock, swinging his fists. "You delusional brat. You think those cute little fists of yours are a threat? I could take on 10 people with your build without breaking a sweat." But as soon as he finished speaking, he was sent flying by Leo's punch. He lost a full 7,121 HP. A mere human actually managed to hurt me. It seems I underestimated you a bit. Now, it's your turn to face my wrath. Using his Agility 20 skill, Venomous Insect Control, Brock activated Insect Devour, and a thick aura of evil power suddenly erupted from his body. How the hell am I supposed to play this? His defense instantly increased several times over. There's no way you can break through my defense. Don't say I didn't give you a chance, kid. I'll just stand right here and let you hit me. Meanwhile, Leo watched coldly from the side. In that case, I'll stop holding back. I'm showing my hand. I'm actually a combat mage. He threw a heavy punch straight at Brock. The blow was so powerful that Brock's face swelled up and he collapsed to the ground. His health was down to only 23 points. A mere NPC dares to show off in front of me, Leo thought. Seeing this, everyone broke into a cold sweat. What a terrifyingly violent mage, they whispered. Now, tell me everything, Leo demanded. What was that ritual you performed? And who was the woman leading it? Holding his swollen face, Brock replied. That was a ritual led by our clan leader. Since the Venom Cave signed a contract with the Insect Queen, we must offer a blood sacrifice every full moon. That dry well is where the Insect Queen lives and breeds. Hearing this, the group realized why they were being asked to detoxify the others. They were simply being used as sacrifices for the next insect ritual. One last question. Why do you call the place Sasha calls the 10,000 Spirit Cave the Venom Cave? Hearing this, Brock asked, who is Sasha? In the entire Venom Cave, only the clan leader's name contains Sasha. Brock then asked tentatively, Can I leave now, young man? Leo calmly replied, You can. But in the next second, he slammed Brock deep into the ground. NPC Brock killed. Reward, 10 free attribute points. Congratulations on killing your first NPC in the inner world through hand-to-hand combat. A one-time use S-rank item, Sage's Protection. Isn't this basically a get-out-of-death-free card? I didn't expect such a small NPC to drop such an overpowered item. This should be one of the highest grade items in the inner world. Meanwhile, the others began to discuss. We can't just rely on Leo's damage output. Even a single villager was this hard to deal with. If the clan leader shows up, she might kill us all and feed us to the venomous insects. The quest was to eliminate all the venomous insects, rather than fighting the villagers of Venom Cave head-on. They just had to blow up the dry well before Sasha noticed. After scouting, they found no other villagers around the dry well. But when they reached the well and looked inside, they saw Sasha's parents lying on the ground. They actually killed their own people. It seems not all the villagers here are evil. No wonder those two acted so strangely back then. Right now, the priority was to destroy this dry well. They immediately unleashed various skills on the well. Then, with a loud boom, the dry well was instantly turned into a sea of fire. Looking at the empty mouth of the well and the insect corpses everywhere, they figured all the venomous insects should be dead by now. But strangely, the system didn't notify them that the quest was complete. Just as they were feeling confused, a dark shadow suddenly appeared behind them. You little mice really aren't behaving, are you? The newcomer was none other than the curvaceous clan leader of Venom Cave, Sasha. Since you've made it here, it means Brock is already dead. This really caught me by surprise. Should I call you the leader of the Venom Cave, Sasha, or should I call you little Sasha? Does big brother not like me with this hot body? Then I'll change back to my little Sasha look to please you. So, which version do you prefer? What a shame. I originally wanted to keep you around to start a family with me. But now, I have to kill you as a sacrifice for the insect queen. Otherwise, she'll be very angry. Hearing this, Leo asked angrily why she would kill her own clansmen and parents. At that moment, Sasha's gaze sharpened. What about parents? They were just two disobedient pieces of trash. Hearing this, Leo's gaze suddenly became sharp. Anyway, you'll all be seeing them very soon. Just as she finished speaking, countless swarms of insects appeared out of thin air. They immediately dove toward Leo. The group hurriedly activated their various skills. Attacks rained down on them every second, but in the next, the insects, possessing Defense 30, Agility 30, and the Insect Bite skill, shouted, "You trash, don't disturb the leader." Since there were too many insects, Leo had no time to deal with them. If this continued, he'd be walking straight into a dead end. If he could raise his agility and defense to 166 points, he could break through this situation with a single move. Could it be that he had to use the active skill of the Brave's Heart now? That was absolutely out of the question. Anyway, he still had the Sage's protection to revive him once. In that case, he might as well risk everything. As they say, to catch the bandits, you must first catch the leader. As long as he killed Sasha, the swarm of poisonous insects would collapse. Seeing this, Sasha mocked him. Big brother, you've finally come to your senses. Are you planning to sacrifice yourself as food for the swarm? But in the next second, Sasha's eyes suddenly widened. Leo's punch had gone straight through her body. Strangely, Sasha didn't panic. Her wound and severed arm were healing rapidly. Big brother, you've actually hit little Sasha. It was then that Leo realized something was off about Sasha. Why was she rated as rare grade when her attributes were actually lower than Brock's? This setup was clearly illogical. By then, Sasha's severed arm had fully recovered. Big brother, you really hurt me. The moment she spoke, her agility suddenly surged by 80 points. Seeing this, Leo was caught off guard as Sasha's Earth Spike attack instantly struck. Leo dodged it with a quick flash. But Leo simply couldn't react to Sasha's explosive speed. In the blink of an eye, her hand blade pierced straight through Leo's chest. Leo immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. He simply couldn't react to such a sudden burst of speed. Once you're dead, I'll skin you to keep as a souvenir, Sasha said. After saying that, she drove her hand blade even deeper. Seeing this, Benny cried out from the side, Leo, hang in there. But before he could finish, the giant python staff came crashing down. I told you, I'm your opponent, the giant python sneered. You can barely take care of yourselves, yet you dare to get distracted. Benny didn't respond, instead immediately activating Sandbind. The giant python looked on with disdain. You think your tricks work on me, you little fatso? Your attacks are nothing more than a tickle to me. With that, it prepared to swing its weapon and attack. But it suddenly realized it couldn't move at all. It turned out that this Sandbind was red. Benny didn't waste any more words. He used a single earth explosion technique to send the giant python to the afterlife. This was because Benny had entered the fat-burning state. Who are you? Not only did your mental power surge, but you've become a total hottie. The siblings standing nearby were completely bewildered. Leo was also staring in disbelief. Benny, how did you end up like this? Benny couldn't quite explain it. In the heat of the moment, all the fat on my body just burned away. And now, my mental attribute is nearly 300 points. This attribute is equivalent to the mental strength of a mid-tier mage. After saying this, Leo grabbed Sasha tightly. Benny, don't hesitate. Use the earth explosion technique to take out both Sasha and me right now. But you'll die too. Stop talking and just do it. I won't die. Hearing this, Benny grit his teeth and unleashed the earth explosion technique without hesitation. I'll go to the afterlife with you, big brother. You lunatic. Let go of me. A loud boom echoed through the area, and a violent explosion instantly engulfed the two of them. At that moment, Benny hoped from the bottom of his heart that Leo was okay. System, lethal damage detected on the host. S-rank item, Sage's Protection, triggered. Leo possesses the courage to face death to survive. A-rank passive skill, Great Strength Contract, activated. Every 50 points of extra health increases the player's strength attribute by 1 point. It seems the system really doesn't want me to die, Leo thought. That means I have nearly 1,800 health points in total. Now I don't have to worry about a boss one-shotting me. Benny ran over with a look of confusion on his face. His 300 points of mental strength hadn't caused Leo a single bit of damage. This was because of the one-time resurrection item. But there was no notification that Sasha had been killed, which meant she was likely still alive. Just then, Sasha slowly emerged from the dust. Congratulations, you'll have the chance to see my true form. With that, she transformed into a monster with a human face and a spider's body. Her stats and skills were terrifyingly powerful. Leo wanted to hit her with an earth explosion technique. But Benny said he couldn't use his abilities in his current state. Suddenly, the system issued a warning. The boss of Venom Cave has been strengthened by an unknown power. This creature's combat power now far exceeds the beginner difficulty. Warning, players must leave the dungeon immediately. Seeing this, Benny urged Leo to run, insisting they couldn't possibly win. But Leo refused, wondering what would happen to the exclusive dungeon if they left. The system continued to prompt that since the boss hadn't been defeated, the players should leave and restart the exclusive dungeon. You've got to be kidding me. You want me to leave now? I don't care what the hell you are, you're dying today? Foolish human, do you really think you can break through this body? I'm going to skin you alive. Leo didn't care about any of that, and threw a powerful punch at the strengthened Sasha. But after fighting for a while, Sasha began to wonder, am I the boss, or is he the boss? He's lost so much health, yet he still won't die. How can a level 8 player deal more damage than I do? This makes no sense. Just how high is his strength? How could a mage possess such overwhelming power? She then signaled Leo to wait. Could it be that you're one of Baze's people? It must be. Only Baze could create a monster like Leo. After all, she herself was created by Baze. What the hell is a Baze? My name is Leo. With that, he swung his staff and smashed it down on her. With a loud bang. This single blow dealt a critical hit of 213 damage. Sasha still couldn't believe it. Your name is Leo? Could it be that great lord? But why would he want to kill me? Why? Leo decided to settle this with a brawl. 115 attribute points. Level up successful. Congratulations on leveling up. Reward, 5 free attribute points. It turns out that right after Leo cleared the Venom Cave dungeon, the system notified him that the dungeon was abnormal and was recalculating. Congratulations to the 5 players for successfully clearing the Mage exclusive dungeon. The system is now evaluating the player's completion rank. The other 4 players were ranked between F and A. But Leo was rated S rank by the system. He also received an A rank skill book, Gate of AKA. Leo used this opportunity to level up. Reaching the beginner stage finally made him a true inner world player capable of handling things on his own. He wondered what would be inside the soul core. It was the spider armor. This piece of equipment was perfect for the Great Strength Contract skill. Besides that, there was a strange Rubik's Cube. It seemed to seal some kind of mysterious power inside. Leo infused his energy into the cube. Congratulations, host, you have activated the mysterious cube. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the ability to detect the attributes and abilities of characters within a 10-level difference. Why did this cube automatically bind to Leo? Moreover, there were still abilities waiting to be unlocked. Even just this detection ability was incredibly powerful. Congratulations to the 5 players for completing the Venom Cave mission. As an extra reward, your mental strength will be increased by 20%. Benny was absolutely thrilled by this reward. A full 20% boost was just too good to be true. But Leo was completely bewildered. For a necromancer with 0 mental strength, this reward was practically useless. Before leaving the dungeon, Felix and the others thanked Leo profusely. After learning that Leo and Benny were being fast-tracked to Kyoto University, Felix declared that he would definitely get in as well. The NPC girl looked at Leo's attributes and experience. A strange smile appeared on her lips. Inside the 4th Academy's cafeteria, Victor looked at Leo in disbelief. What? He's already level 10. Warrior class exclusive dungeons provide far more experience than mage ones, so normally, warriors should level up much faster in the early stages. Why did Leo reach level 10 so quickly? While Benny was happily munching on a chicken leg, the healer and the tank, Molly, gave Leo confused looks. Are you sure he's the same Leo? He's actually way more handsome than Victor. Benny looked completely unimpressed. What's the point of being good-looking? I need to hurry up and eat to get fat again. Otherwise, I'll have no sense of security in the inner world. Since they've already been recommended to the capital, do they still need to take the grand exam? On planet Kaiji, the most important day of the year is the grand exam. This exam is when a new batch of geniuses typically emerges. Even the recommended students have a goal, to become the top scorer of the grand exam. Not only does that bring fame and fortune, but it also comes with an A-rank item. Victor was the first to declare, "I'm in. I'm definitely taking first place in the warrior class." However, this year's grand exam is different. The prize for the top scorer isn't an A-rank item, but an S-rank one. Since it's an S-rank item, so Leo had to get it no matter what. While Leo was walking beneath his dormitory, he heard a sudden sound. Someone shot down from the sky and landed right in front of him in the blink of an eye. "May I ask if you two need something?" While speaking, he activated his ability to detect character attributes. The newcomers were two assassins, level 16 and 18. "You must be Leo, right? The Necromancer who killed Sasha in the Venom Cave." "Damn, a dungeon boss has come knocking." Could they be the Bays that Sasha mentioned before she died? Perhaps Bays isn't a person, but a mysterious organization. But because he had been in a killing frenzy at the time, he hadn't asked for clarification. Facing two high-level assassins was actually quite tricky. So he lied and claimed his name was Victor. The assassin codenamed 9537 scratched his head. "Sorry, it seems we have the wrong person." But as soon as he spoke, he was slapped hard by the assassin codenamed 7438. "Are you stupid? You believe everything this kid says? Stop wasting time. If he's the mage, just take him back." With a whoosh, the two figures suddenly vanished. Facing the pincer attack of the two assassins, Leo didn't move a muscle. In the blink of an eye, they lunged straight at him. "I told you, assassins are the natural enemy of mages. He's not even dodging, so he must be lying to us." But little did they know, Leo had already appeared behind them. He suddenly struck, sending 9,527 flying. Seeing 9527 slammed against the wall, 7438 was completely stunned. "We hit him twice, and he's acting like nothing happened, and he took out 9,527 with a single punch. With such terrifying explosive power, he's definitely not a mage." Leo asked 7438 if he still wanted to fight, and he quickly replied, I'm done. Student Victor, we don't mean any harm. We've got the wrong person. I'm just a low-level grunt ranked 7,438 in the organization. Let's just leave it at that. A level 18 assassin only ranks around 7,000 in base. It seems I should let them go, otherwise there will be greater retaliation soon. If that's the case, then so be it. I hope you find that Leo guy soon. If you need anything, feel free to look for me. Bye, Victor. Baze is a divine beast from myths and legends. It knows the names, appearances, and banishing methods of every ghost and monster in existence, which is why it has long been worshipped as an auspicious omen. Just what kind of organization is this Baze? Why can't I find a single piece of information about them online? If this continues, my identity will be exposed sooner or later. It seems I can't stay in this house any longer. With his current strength, Leo simply cannot stand against a mysterious behemoth like Baze. His only choice is to take the grand exam. Even an organization like Baze wouldn't dare attack a candidate during the grand exam. That would be an act of extreme defiance against the entire world. Once he reaches Kyoto University, he'll be safe. Principal Sterling is the inner world's top umbrella sword cultivator, hailed as Pingyang. If Kyoto University isn't safe, then there's no safe place left in this world. Then, he took out the Rubik's Cube dropped by Sasha. What on earth is this thing? This is the special thing about dedicated dungeons. Could this be something they left for me? How would they know for sure that I'd clear this dungeon? And how could they leave something behind inside it? Sasha's mother is part of Baze. What is going on? On the roof of a building in Sioux City. So, according to your intelligence, the person who fought 957 is very strong. And their class isn't a mage. Useless, you can't even handle this small matter. Let's put this matter aside for now. The upcoming operation in Sioux City is the top priority. Meanwhile, Leo asked Principal Sterling if there was a way to open this mysterious Rubik's Cube. Hearing this, Principal Sterling took a close look. Without a password, only the seal-breaking key can open it. Although this seal isn't powerful, forcing it open would destroy the contents inside. Then where can I find the seal-breaking key? The E-rank dungeon, Mechanical City. This is an open-world dungeon. There might be some bad guys who want to cause you trouble. Rumor has it that a great war once broke out between humans and machines due to the awakening of machine consciousness, though they eventually reached a reconciliation. The region where they reside is known as the Mechanical Realm. And this place is the Mechanical City in the human region. But Principal Sterling said that to obtain the seal-breaking key, one must receive a hidden quest from City Lord Roland. But I wonder how I can meet the City Lord. Just then, a black-haired old man with a thick head of hair brushed past him. The old man was constantly calculating academic theories in his head. No, no, that's not right. Seeing this, the old man apologized timidly. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. You did that on purpose, didn't you? You can't even walk without bumping into someone. You have to pay up, or you're not leaving today. Meanwhile, Leo was watching everything unfold. As he spoke, the thug lifted the old man right off the ground. But he discovered the old man didn't have a single penny on him. At this point, Leo couldn't stand by and watch any longer. Where's the justice in this world? How dare they rob an old man in broad daylight? As a model citizen of the new era, I can't just stand here and watch this happen. Hearing this, the burly man looked at him with disdain. Listen, brat, do you want to pay the old man's debt for him? If not, then get lost. In that case, you'll have to be brought to justice. With that, Leo launched a powerful punch that broke the sound barrier and slammed into the man's chest. With a loud bang, the burly man was sent flying far into the distance in an instant. Leo then turned to the blonde thug. Want to give it a try too? The blonde man immediately began bowing and pleading. Sir, we were wrong. Please, just let us go. Don't let it happen again. Now get lost. Hearing that, the two of them vanished in a flash. The old man thought Leo was just another robber, so he hurriedly took out all the money he had and tried to give it to him. You've got it all wrong, old man. I'm a good, law-abiding citizen. Don't lump me in with those thugs. The old man finally realized his mistake. An old geezer like me doesn't have much to repay you with. Leo told him he didn't need any reward. Could you tell me how to find the city lord of the mechanical city? The black-haired old man looked surprised. Why are you looking for him? Leo then explained the situation to the old man. The old man stroked his beard. I might not be able to help with other things, but I have a way to get you an audience with the city lord. Come along, young man. I can only guarantee that you'll meet the city lord, but whether you get his help or not is up to you. Don't worry, old man. What the old man didn't know was that Leo had only used a fraction of his power. From a distance, the two people who had been intimidated watched the scene. Brother, do you think the city lord will finally find the person he's looking for? I don't know, but that boy is the strongest player I've ever seen. In another part of the mechanical realm, Blitz, Professor Roland's academic seminar, is tomorrow. No matter what it takes, make sure he's brought here. Don't worry, my lord, I will. Looking closely, Blitz is actually a humanoid machine. Meanwhile, Leo and his companion arrived outside a magnificent building. Young man, the city lord you're looking for is inside. But Leo was confused. This was City Lord Roland's castle. Why was this old man able to walk right in without any obstacles? But he soon realized the old man had already vanished. Regardless, the priority now was to find the city lord and obtain the key of breaking. With that, Leo slowly pushed open the castle gates. However, the three people he saw inside left Leo completely stunned. Standing in the hall were the black-haired old man and the two burly men from before. Seeing this, Leo was bewildered. How could it be you? Young man, do you not know Roland, the city lord of the mechanical city? And these two are the most powerful guards in my mechanical city. You're probably wondering why we staged this ruse, right? Because I want to find. And that person is none other than. Exactly. Now, I will discuss the conditions with you. You want the seal-breaking key, don't you? You only need to do one thing for me. At the academic research conference, I will announce my lifelong research on mechanical and organic life. The robots from the mechanical realm who covet my findings will certainly not let this rare opportunity slip away. Leo asked tentatively. Do you want me to protect you then? What I need is for you to defeat the king of the mechanical realm and take his mechanical heart. With that, Leo received the mission to obtain the seal-breaking key. Leo looked confident. It's just one guy, right? I've got this. In the blink of an eye, the next day arrived. The black-haired old man was now speaking on the stage. We live in a highly developed civilization where nature provides every resource to sustain human survival. But only now has the complexity of artificial systems become comparable to that of living organisms. How much of life is actually converted into data? The reason artificial intelligence was created was precisely to explore this mystery. Even for AI that has passed the soul-binding laws, we still would not consider them a new form of life. Just like those robots from the mechanical realm. Although they have their own consciousness, they cannot reproduce like humans in the traditional sense. So, is it actually possible for them to achieve organic growth? I imagine everyone has deep doubts about this and is already yawning with boredom. It's already this late. Why haven't those robots arrived yet? Then, with a bang, the glass ceiling shattered. A figure appeared in the seminar hall. Flesh is weak, machinery is eternal. Machinery is eternal, Professor Roland. Discard that fragile human shell and embrace the mechanical way. It was Blitz. Blitz had infiltrated Professor Roland's seminar. Attention, all personnel. A robot has invaded. Please ensure Professor Roland's safety immediately. Get lost. This is no place for robots. But as soon as the words were spoken, Blitz suddenly vanished. The next second, he delivered a powerful blow that sent the blonde guard flying. Then he unleashed a barrage of heavy punches, sending the surrounding security team flying everywhere in the blink of an eye. Hee. With this arrogant attitude, it seems you really don't take me, Leo, seriously. Saying this, Leo prepared to step forward and scrap the robot. But he was stopped by Roland. I'll go with them to the Mechanical Guild. I'm betting everything on you, Leo. Do you see it? This is the power of mechanical modification. I possess the strongest body. Suddenly, someone appeared. Come with me, Professor Roland. The newcomer was the lord of the mechanical city, Dorian. Tell your men to stop immediately, and I'll go with you. Tie up Professor Roland. And just like that, Professor Roland was tied up. It would have been better if you'd been this sensible from the start. Blitz, let's go. But Blitz expressed that he wanted to play with these humans a bit longer. So Dorian left first. That hairy robot, the one who claimed to have the strongest body. You weak and ignorant humans. You can't possibly understand the charm and power of mechanical modification. But Leo simply asked, are you finished? Kid, don't you want to join the glorious evolution? Don't you want a perfect body and great power? But before he could even finish his sentence, he took a critical hit from Leo. Defense 40, Agility 06, Skills 0, only 194 points left. Blitz's eyes widened in shock. How could a human possess such power? But Leo didn't care about any of that. Sorry, but everything you've said is completely pathetic in my eyes. Blitz cried out that it was impossible. How could a punch pierce my bioengineered body? How on earth did you do it? Hearing this, Leo replied, I just threw a casual punch. Forget it, I'll stop pretending. I'm coming clean. Actually, I'm an ancient holy body of the human race. With that, he suddenly stomped Blitz to the ground. Cut the chatter. If you don't want to be dismantled into spare parts, get moving. Take me to your mechanical realm. It seems City Lord Roland had let himself be captured on purpose, wanting Leo to go to the mechanical realm and destroy the mechanical heart. Don't worry, City Lord, I'll definitely complete this mission. Blitz wondered why a kid with such terrifying strength would just let Lord Dorian take Professor Roland away. I must report the news of this ancient holy body to Lord Dorian. Not long after, they arrived at the mechanical realm. Respected Professor Roland, I'm very sorry for inviting you in such a crude manner. But before he could finish, Professor Roland interrupted him. I'd rather die than betray humanity and join your mechanical realm. Professor, please don't be so quick to refuse. Take a look at this first. What came into view was a massive mechanical heart. Just as you can see, this machine is becoming biological. Or rather, biology is being engineered. This heart possesses biological abilities, combining human resilience with the power of machines. Calling it a robot is no longer appropriate. I prefer to call it ascension. Flesh is weak, machines are the ascension. Professor Roland, please join this glorious evolution. Professor Roland refused immediately without a second thought. How could you be human, yet be willing to be a lapdog for machines? Calling someone like you a traitor to humanity wouldn't be an exaggeration. Despite the insults from Professor Roland, Dorian remained silent. Professor, come closer and look at this. The mechanical heart extended several tentacles, quickly piercing through the human bodies, then shredding them to pieces, before finally devouring all the flesh and corpses. Meanwhile, Leo had arrived at the mechanical hall. The robots noticed his arrival. Intruder detected, provide immediate support. In the blink of an eye, Leo blasted the mechanical guards into scrap. He also gained a significant number of attribute points. Now this is interesting. I didn't expect hunting robots to give attribute points too. Who else? I'll take on 10 of them. Professor Roland shouted that they were worse than beasts. But Dorian slowly replied, Professor, no matter how angry you are, this machine is just a failed experiment. Our original goal was to enable robots to grow organically. But as you can see, we ended up creating a monster that only knows how to devour life. And its appetite is only growing. It started by eating one person, and now it eats 5. Even I don't know where its limit actually lies. I invited you here to help solve the problem with Talma. Of course, you can choose to ignore the request. But there are those who believe Professor Roland, like Leo. Just then, a mechanical subordinate rushed in to report. Lord Dorian, we have a problem. A human ancient desolate holy body has come charging through the gates. Dorian wondered if this was one of the 3 ancient desolate holy bodies mentioned in Blitz's message. But before he could finish the thought, an axe smashed straight through the wall. Hello, Lord Dorian. I'm the ancient desolate holy body you've been talking about. Seeing that it was Leo, Professor Roland looked relieved. Meanwhile, City Lord Dorian stared at Leo. He thought it would be even better if he could recruit Leo into his service. Welcome to the mechanical realm. As one of the top generals of the mechanical realm, Blitz, I didn't expect you to be such a formidable opponent. But Leo asked in return, is it that embarrassing to lose to someone with an ancient kidney body? Are you planning to avenge him? Seeing Leo speak so disrespectfully, two mechanical guards lunged at Leo with a whoosh. Facing their fierce attack, Leo gave a slight smile. I'll gladly take this free experience. He immediately threw a powerful punch. In the blink of an eye, he completely demolished both mechanical guards. Seeing this, Dorian was shocked that a mortal body could be stronger than the mechanical soldiers modified by Seraphine. If he could be mechanically modified, what kind of monster would be created? It would surely be the nightmare of every warrior in the world. Meanwhile, Professor Roland praised Leo's performance. Leo looked over there. That is the mechanical heart, Marta, which I want you to destroy. It seems something is changing. Fed on human flesh and blood for so long, this mechanical heart feels as if it could awaken at any moment. Please destroy it as quickly as possible. Otherwise, more humans will lose their lives. Meanwhile, Dorian wondered how to win Leo over, since this was the strongest human body he had ever seen. At the same time, Leo slowly approached Marta. Then, he suddenly leaped up, reaching Marta in the blink of an eye. Seeing Leo's move, Dorian immediately shouted for him to stop. But at that moment, Leo had only one goal. He had to destroy the mechanical heart. Dorian tried to step forward and block him. Leo just gave him a sideways glance. Since you care so much about this piece of scrap metal, I'll destroy you both together. Just then, the mechanical AI issued a danger warning. Master, please flee immediately. But Dorian's reactions were no match for Leo's. In the blink of an eye, Leo blasted him away. He only stopped after slamming into the wall. Despite being heavily injured, Dorian actually laughed. Leo was far stronger than he had imagined. This made him even more determined to subject Leo to mechanical modification. With a flash, Leo appeared before Marta once again. It's time to end this. With a barrage of heavy punches, Marta was quickly smashed to pieces. Get lost, you twisted piece of junk. A violent explosion suddenly ripped through the area. Marta was reduced to a pile of spare parts. Player has defeated Mechanical Heart Marta through melee combat. Reward, 3 free attribute points. Suddenly, blood rained down from the sky. Seeing the heart destroyed, Dorian was instantly enraged. Do you have any idea how much hope for us machines it carried? Leo looked at the blood scattered in his hands. I can't imagine how many people you fed to it. They were clearly human, yet they were willing to be puppets for the machines. Don't be in such a hurry. It'll be your turn soon. Dorian signaled them to wait. Don't you want a more powerful physique? I admit your ancient holy body is quite powerful. But compared to Her Majesty the Empress, it's nothing. Although you destroyed Martha, Her Majesty doesn't blame you. Instead, she's giving you a chance to redeem yourself. If you come with me now to meet Her Majesty and join the mechanical realm, perhaps the Empress will even pardon your crimes. Hearing this, Leo wondered, isn't Dorian the city lord of the mechanical realm? I want to see what he's really planning. Seeing this, Professor Roland quickly spoke up to stop him. Leo, don't let him trick you. Leo looked back and told the city lord, don't worry. I have no interest in this mechanical ascension. I only trust my own physical body. But Dorian's gaze was full of confidence. Once you witness the Empress's power, maybe you won't think that way anymore. Then I'll have to trouble City Lord Dorian to lead the way. I really want to see this Empress of your mechanical realm. Leo then followed Dorian deeper into the mechanical realm. But while Leo wasn't paying attention, Dorian suddenly produced a small object and silently tossed it behind him. It was a mechanical bug capable of modifying the human body, though Leo had already noticed its presence. Dorian fantasized that if the bug successfully parasitized Leo, Her Majesty Seraphine would surely reward him. Just as the mechanical bug was about to insert its tube into Leo's neck, Leo slapped it into pieces with a loud snap. Immediately after, Leo threw a powerful punch toward Dorian's back. I knew you weren't being honest, Leo said. Dorian couldn't believe his little trick had been discovered, but he was met with Leo's heavy fist and sent flying. However, Dorian managed to steady himself. As expected of a level 15 NPC, he was certainly durable. Seeing this, Dorian's face twisted in rage. Do you suddenly not want to see Her Majesty Seraphine? Leo sneered. If I'm not mistaken, your Empress is nearby, right? In that case, there's no need for you to exist anymore. Don't talk too big, Dorian replied. Even if I leave you crippled and hand you over to Her Majesty, it's the same thing. She'll just reshape your body into a mechanical one anyway. With that, a massive mechanical fist swung toward Leo. Take this, Mechanical Overlord punch. But to his surprise, Leo countered him, dealing 233 points of damage. Did you skip breakfast, City Lord Dorian? Dorian looked on in disbelief. How can the ancient desolate holy body be this powerful? My full power strike couldn't even budge him. Just then, Leo suddenly snapped Dorian's mechanical arm. I forgot, you piles of scrap metal really don't need to eat. With that, he landed another punch, dealing 240 damage. As Dorian watched himself being smashed into pieces. Stop, let me go. But Leo ignored him and lunged forward. smashing Dorian's head to pieces and slamming him violently against the wall. As the dust settled, Dorian's mechanical form slowly reappeared. I have to admit, I underestimated you. From now on, I'll give you the respect you deserve. Your mechanical body is really ugly, Leo replied. I'd rather die than choose mechanical ascension. In that case, just die, ancient desolate holy body. Leo decided to take this seriously. Then take my strongest attack. It was just a simple punch, but it hit like a storm. After a violent explosion. Congratulations. You defeated NPC Dorian in melee combat and received 15 attribute points. Congratulations. You have leveled up and received 10 free attribute points. Congratulations. You have advanced to a novice mage. Novice or advanced, what does it matter? For someone like Leo with zero mental power, strength is the only way. By killing Dorian, he successfully obtained the seal-breaking key. It was also time to go see Seraphine, the mechanical empress. Who knows, there might be some unexpected rewards. But after several attempts, it kept saying the password was incorrect. If I'd known there was a password, I wouldn't have dismantled Dorian. Who am I even supposed to ask for the password in a place like this? Just as Leo was scratching his head in frustration and rolling his eyes, there was a petite girl in black stockings sitting inside. The girl seemed a bit confused. Based on past experience, killing Dorian should have completed the mission. Why would a human come to see her this time? Despite multiple attempts, he still couldn't open it. Left with no choice, Leo had to resort to violence and blasted it open with a single punch. Looks like the old-fashioned way is still the most effective. Seeing the girl in black stockings before him, Leo couldn't help but wonder. A human girl? Was she a human imprisoned here by Dorian? Or perhaps, he stepped forward and asked tentatively, Miss, why are you here? The girl also began to wonder. It seems this human is that strange fellow from outside. Miss, can you speak? What's your name? Hearing this, the girl in black stockings replied calmly. No matter how hard Leo racked his brain, he never would have imagined that this petite young girl in front of him was actually Seraphine. But the attribute panel and powerful skills before him couldn't lie. Leo looked at Seraphine's nearly abnormal attributes. Holy crap, an epic NPC with 100,000 HP. She could be a boss in an A-rank dungeon and could probably turn me into dust in the blink of an eye. So, Leo waved at Seraphine. Sorry for the intrusion, I took a wrong turn. Goodbye, miss. Just as Leo was about to turn and leave, countless tentacles shot out from Seraphine's body, tightly binding him and pulling him to her side. Then, she slowly reached out her right hand. Leo thought to himself that her power was immense, and there was absolutely no way to break free. But Seraphine signaled him not to be afraid, saying she wouldn't hurt him. Then, she lightly tapped Leo's forehead, as if reading something from his mind. Leo's entire life experience flashed through Seraphine's mind. Is this the outside world? Seraphine had actually always known that the world she lived in wasn't the real world, but a virtual world known as a dungeon. Every so often, the system would reset it to its original state. Moreover, there was a bug in this virtual world. As long as she stayed in this room, she could avoid the dungeon reset. She had long since forgotten how many times the world had been reset. But this man was the only one who had ever come before her. That's why Seraphine refused to let this hard-won opportunity slip away. Leo asked, "Did you just read my memories?" Seraphine replied that it wasn't just reading, but that they had exchanged memories. I see, Leo thought. No wonder a D-rank dungeon boss like her has such high levels and stats. Guessing what Seraphine wanted, Leo tentatively asked, "Do you want to get out? If that's the case, you might as well just kill me. A level 11 scrub like me can't possibly fight against the rules of the inner world." Hearing this, Seraphine replied that it wouldn't be necessary. As she spoke, she slowly reached out her right hand. Then, she plunged her fingers into her own chest. Blood immediately sprayed out from her body. Leo was shocked by the sight. "What are you doing?" The next second, Seraphine's mechanical heart appeared in her hand. I mean, we can make reasonable use of the inner world's rules. As long as this mechanical heart is taken out, it will gradually grow into another me. That way, I'll essentially have a clone to experience the outside world. But Leo was confused. Aren't you afraid I'll go back on my word once I leave? Unexpectedly, Seraphine remained completely calm. First, I found no record of you ever breaking a promise. Second, I simply want to see the outside world with my own eyes. Hearing this, Leo was shocked. An NPC had developed their own will, and was even trying to escape the creator's inner world. Then, Seraphine asked, "Have you made up your mind, Leo?" Leo waved his hand helplessly. "I don't think I have any other choice but to agree, do I?" Hearing this, Seraphine gave a slight smile and replied, "In that case, you may leave. Congratulations to player Leo for successfully completing the Mechanical Realm dungeon. The system will issue rewards based on the player's rating. C-rank item, Mechanical Brass Knuckles, 50 experience, 5 free attribute points, and a B-rank skill book, Shaping Technique. It increases critical hit chance by 30%. It was time to have Principal Sterling open that Rubik's Cube. So, Leo returned to Principal Sterling's office. But after looking around, he couldn't find the principal anywhere. Out of curiosity, Leo took out the seal-breaking key and opened the cube. But the moment he inserted the key and turned it, a massive surge of energy erupted from the cube. A growth-type weapon, the Green Dragon Crescent Blade, appeared out of thin air. This is what my parents left for me. But why is it a blade? And it has no attributes at all. I have no idea how to upgrade it. Besides, I'm a necromancer. Why would they leave me a weapon like this? Just then, Principal Sterling pushed open the door and entered. You brat, you're finally back. Hurry to the exam hall, or you'll miss the grand exam. Holy crap, he's right. I almost forgot about something this important. Meanwhile, at the grand exam venue. What are you waiting for? Just then, Benny signaled the examiner to wait. Our team isn't all here yet. Hearing this, a blue-haired student from the first academy looked on with contempt. Your fourth academy is just a bunch of losers. Benny looked furious. Say it again if you've got the guts. What if I say it 100 times? Whether you take the exam or not, the result will be the same. Our academy is definitely taking the top spot in this year's grand exam. I bet that classmate of yours was scared witless and didn't dare show up. Facing the blue-haired student's provocation, Benny could only trade insults with him. Even Victor couldn't resist stepping forward to intervene. Fortunately, Leo appeared just in time. Hey boys, your daddy's home. Just a moment ago. The blue-haired guy had completely provoked Benny. With a bunch of trash like you, my brother Leo. Oh please. Why don't you let your precious Leo come and try his luck? The healer and the tank were still confused. How did Leo get here so quickly? Victor suddenly stepped forward. The Academy's undefeated myth will end with me. And all of you will eventually be defeated by me. That damn Leo still hasn't arrived. I can't keep up the act anymore. I really can't. Leo hurriedly rushed toward the exam site. The teacher in charge of the grand exam noted that time was running out. If he doesn't show up now, he'll be disqualified. Leo, oh Leo. If he doesn't come soon, he'll really miss his chance. But as a shout of "I'm here" rang out, everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. Your daddy's back. Seeing this, the students from other academies were instantly infuriated. We waited all this time for a piece of work like him. Hearing this, Benny glared at them. Say that again if you've got the guts. And what if I do? In a bit, I'll beat you scrubs back to your homes. Then I'll leisurely take the title of Grand Exam Champion. Leo asked, where did these idiots crawl out from? Before Benny could answer, the blue-haired guy turned red with rage. You brat, I can't be bothered to argue with you. Just make sure you don't fall into my hands on the arena later. Leo gave a slight smile. Idiots. I hope you're still this confident when the time comes. I, Leo, am definitely taking the title of Grand Exam Champion this year. Upon hearing this, the blue-haired guy flew into a rage. You brat, you're asking for death. Suddenly, a youth in black beside them spoke up. Our goal is the Grand Exam's top scorer. If you dare cause any more trouble. Before he could finish, the blue-haired guy apologized repeatedly. Kane, I was wrong. Leo and the others couldn't help but wonder who this youth in black actually was. I am the chief examiner for this session, Marcus. I won't spend too much time on the rules of the competition. This grand exam uses a point-based elimination system. Winning a round earns 2 points, while losing deducts 1. Winning streaks grant an extra point, and losing streaks don't result in extra deductions. After 10 rounds, the 10 students with the highest scores will compete in a tournament to determine the first place. I hope everyone achieves a great result. I hereby declare the 3080th Grand Exam of Jia City officially open. Immediately, a thunderous roar of cheers erupted from the stands. Leo was assigned to the Mage area. This grand exam followed the rules of the duel grounds, where health would only drop to 1 at minimum, so no one would actually die. This meant Leo could now attack without any restraint. On the stage, last year's top scorer, Sean, was also discussing it. It looks like this year's top scorer will definitely come from our first academy. As it happened, in the first round, Leo was matched against the blue-haired Leon. Leo didn't say a word, but just stood there quietly. The impatient blue-haired guy spoke first. I can't believe I'm facing you in the first round. Hearing this, Leo wore a playful expression. So your name is Drake. What a typical overbearing warlord kind of name. Don't you agree? You piece of trash, you're asking for death. Don't you dare mock my name like that. The examiner asked if both were ready. Both of them signaled that they were. Why don't both sides introduce themselves first? Hearing this, both of them looked bewildered. Excuse me, examiner, can't we just start fighting? Drake, level 9 apprentice lightning mage. Leo, level 11 beginner necromancer. Upon hearing he was a level 11 beginner mage, Drake immediately broke into a cold sweat. How is that possible? To reach the beginner rank before the grand exam, he must be a strong contender for the top spot. Alright, now that the introductions are over, you may begin. As soon as the words were spoken, lightning energy crackled all over Drake's body. So what if you're a beginner? Lightning magic is the natural counter to the necromancy system. With that, he immediately unleashed a lightning barrier. Violent lightning energy surged wildly around him. As the only necromancer with a hidden class in the entire server, it's only natural that I deal massive amounts of damage. But things turned out quite the opposite. The examiner immediately dragged me away for a doping test, and even the opposing school's principal couldn't stand it. Tanking heavenly thunder with my bare body? I can deal with that. Even pulling out brass knuckles would be somewhat believable. But damn it, you call this a necromancer? Because all this massive damage was delivered with my fists. Just a moment ago, when Ray released his thunder magnetic field, the audience couldn't help but exclaim that he was actually a lightning mage. They say this class only has a 1 in 10,000 awakening rate, making it almost as rare as a hidden class. Lightning mages are the most explosive of all the elemental mages. But what confused the audience was that the opponent was a necromancer who is naturally countered by lightning. Yet Ray took a defensive stance. Isn't that just asking for disaster? Lightning mages aren't good at defense at all. At that moment, Ray spoke. Let me see what you've got, necromancer. Leo didn't even pull out the staff that symbolizes a necromancer. Then, the other principal suddenly spoke. Old Sterling, is your necromancer not planning to make a move? This kid is being far too arrogant. Lightning is the natural counter to the undead. If he doesn't summon the undead soon, he's guaranteed to lose. Principal Sterling, however, remained completely unfazed. Just watch and see. Leo is a freak who can send a Kyoto University recruiter flying with a single punch. Leo was about to enter the attack range of the thunder magnetic field. This kid is finally going to make his move. But he didn't make any move to summon the undead. Instead, he continued walking straight into the thunder magnetic field. Even though Leo's body had already started bleeding continuously, it still couldn't stop him from moving forward. At this moment, they wondered what kind of monster this guy was. He was actually tanking the damage from the thunder magnetic field. Isn't the necromancer known for having low HP and low defense? What's up with this guy? The audience was completely stunned. Shouldn't a battle between mages be a clash of spells? Damn, why is this guy such a reckless hothead? Then, Leo slowly put on the mechanical brass knuckles. Mechanical brass knuckles, Sirank. Effect, increases critical hit rate by 30%. Suddenly, his movements became lightning fast. I'll use you to test out this new item, Leo thought. At this moment, Ray's eyes were filled with terror. What on earth is this necromancer trying to do? A second later, he finally found out. It turned out this necromancer wanted to engage in close-quarters combat. With just one punch, Ray was sent flying hundreds of meters. His HP was only 190 points, but the critical damage was a staggering 1,144 points. You could say Leo's single punch was enough to kill him 6 times over. At this point, the audience still couldn't believe that a necromancer could tank heavenly thunder and deal over 1,000 critical damage with a single punch. At that moment, the dean grabbed Principal Sterling by the collar. You old ghost, I can handle the physical body tanking heavenly thunder. I can even handle him pulling out brass knuckles. But this kid deals over 1,000 points of damage with one punch. And you call this a necromancer? Hearing this, Principal Sterling gave a slight smile. As a necromancer, Leo has been practicing martial arts since he was in the womb. His external tempering techniques are already perfected. My explanation is perfectly reasonable, right? Reasonable, my ass. On the stands, Hugo smiled slightly. A necromancer's physical body, is this terrifying? How strong would he be if he actually cast spells? He's truly an opponent to look forward to. Just then, a subordinate rushed over to report to Kane. Leon has been defeated. And that man did it with just one punch. Kane knew that Leo had some skill. So he ordered his subordinates to go and cause him some minor trouble first. Regardless of how the grand exam goes, the top student must stay in our academy. Just then, several people walked toward Leo and signaled for Leo to come with them. It turned out that because Leo's performance was too eye-catching, Kane specifically arranged for his subordinates to report Leo for cheating. Just because I performed well, you want to give me a drug test? Is there any justice left? But the examiner stated that this was a regulation of the competition. Please cooperate. Helplessly, Leo could only be led away in front of the audience. Seeing this, the students from the academy began to mock him again. I knew it. How could someone from the Mage district have such high critical damage? I bet this kid's bladder is full of stimulants for the drug test. Beside them, Benny believed in Leo's strength. When brother Leo comes back, you'll all be crying. First, pray that he can even come back before you say that. Afterward, Leo began the test in front of the equipment. As expected, the life of a genius is always accompanied by doubt. But after the test was completed, no abnormal data was found. The examiner still insisted that Leo take the test again. The second test still found no abnormal data. The examiner signaled the assistant to check if there was a problem with the testing equipment. After a thorough inspection, the assistant stated that there was nothing wrong with the machine. So this kid really achieved over 1,000 critical hits using pure physical strength. But ever since the inner world was born, a mage with such a powerful physical body had never appeared before. The assistant asked if the candidate should be allowed to return to the exam. But the examiner insisted that even if the data was correct, he still needed a drug test to see if he had taken any banned substances. If everything was clear, he would be sent back to the grand exam. However, there wasn't much time left before the first round of the competition. If he didn't show up once time ran out, the examiner would disqualify him on the spot. The audience was also divided in their opinions. "I knew it all along," one said. "That kid landed a critical hit of over 71,000 with one punch, and he still hasn't come back. He must be cheating." Leo wondered why the examiner insisted on following him. The examiner replied that it was his responsibility to provide constant supervision throughout the entire assessment. Then, Leo pinned the examiner against the wall with one hand. "Mainly, I'm afraid my little friend might scare you," Leo said. The examiner looked at him with disdain and replied, "We've all had professional training." But once the sample was taken and the door opened, the examiner wouldn't stop screaming. Leo comforted him, saying, "I told you not to follow me, it would scare you." Anyone else would have reacted the same way. Everyone's results are just like yours. Then, they reported to the chief examiner. Leo's urine test showed no issues at all. In that case, send him back to continue the grand exam. It turns out this kid is Arthur Chiao's son. No wonder he's so fierce. A mage with a base attack over 500. And a recommended student for Kyoto University. It seems this kid will bring us quite a few surprises. As the time for the match was almost up, Benny said anxiously that if Leo didn't show up soon, he'd be declared the loser. Students from the other academy didn't miss the chance to mock them. How could a cheater possibly come back? A mage with over 1,000 damage? You actually believe that? He's probably been expelled from the grand exam and will never return. All of you shut up. When Brother Leo returns, he'll rip those foul mouths of yours apart. At that moment, Victor stepped forward. Even if Leo isn't here, you still have me. The top spot in the grand exam will never fall into their hands. I, Victor, will definitely lead everyone. But before he could finish, a figure slowly appeared. Brother Leo, you're finally here. Since all the contestants have arrived, let the battle begin. The audience began to buzz. He's back. Leo is back. This proves his damage really is over 1,000. Therefore, he didn't cheat. After Leo introduced his name and level, the opposing mage looked at him with disdain. You're not even worthy of knowing my name. Because you're just. So I'll just wave the white flag and surrender. I have no desire to be hit by one of your punches for over 1,000 damage. And end up owing you my life on top of that. By now, Leo was completely losing it. Please, I'm begging you, just let me punch you. Just one punch, please. The referee awkwardly announced that Leo from the 4th Academy had won. With this victory, Leo now had 2 wins in a row, bringing his total score to 175 points. Meanwhile, Kane from the 1st Academy was pondering his next move. Since reporting him for cheating didn't work, it didn't matter. He had plenty of other ways to deal with him. No one is going to steal the top spot of the grand exam from us. Even though the boy had been frozen into an ice sculpture by the goddess, he actually let out a pig-like squeal of laughter on the spot. Everyone mocked him for being a total simp. Even the examiner beside him urged the boy to just give up. But Principal Sterling remained calm. Hold on, the best part is yet to come. Soon, it was time for Miles' next duel. As the referee announced the start of the match, the student immediately waved to the examiner to concede. Leo was baffled. Another surrender? Couldn't they have the courage to actually charge at me? Unexpectedly, the student replied, only the pain of getting beaten is real. I'm not stupid. The contestant even publicly raised a white flag right at the start. Just like that, he advanced directly to the 8th round. Meanwhile, the student who surrendered cheered to the crowd as if he had won. This left Leo completely speechless. At that moment, a lackey reminded Kane. This guy has already won 8 times in a row. He might enter the arena tournament with a perfect record. A sinister smile appeared on Kane's face. The next match will be a top-tier showdown. Leo is in for a rude awakening. Are you talking about Celeste? But will she follow our arrangements? That's not for her to decide. Sure enough, the opponent for the 9th round was the school beauty from the 2nd Academy, Celeste. As a loyal simp, I wouldn't even mind if she broke my ribs to make soup for herself. Then, both sides began their introductions. Celeste from the 2nd Academy, a level 11 novice ice mage. Leo from the 4th Academy, a level 11 novice necromancer. Old man Sterling, that Leo is the best prospect your 4th Academy has. He's probably in for it now that he's facing Celeste. But Principal Sterling replied, you guys don't understand Leo at all. Right after the introductions, Celeste's staff began to glow. Seeing this, Leo looked confused. Are you not going to surrender? Hearing this, Celeste was instantly bewildered. Why on earth would I surrender? Leo looked excited. Finally, someone who can actually fight. You brat, how dare you? If you dare hit Goddess Celeste, I'll definitely go to your house at midnight and have my dog poop on your doorstep. Leo just grinned. Facing such a delicate and juicy beauty, how could I possibly use such violent methods? The next second, the green dragon crescent blade appeared out of thin air. Wild green energy surged violently from the weapon. Seeing this, the examiner broke into a cold sweat. Is this guy really a necromancer? Celeste also broke into a cold sweat. She couldn't believe he could wield the green dragon crescent blade with such mastery. In all her life, she had never seen such a peculiar mage. But before she could react, Leo lunged at her with the green dragon crescent blade. Seeing this, Celeste immediately activated her ice wall cage skill. Several ice spikes erupted from the ground, blocking Leo's path. But Leo just gave them a casual smash. The ice spikes in front of him shattered instantly. As Leo continued to charge forward, Celeste realized she absolutely could not let him get close. Moreover, her skills could only trap Leo for a second or two at a time. In an instant, Leo rocketed straight towards Celeste. It looked like he was about to smash her head wide open. But this was exactly the opening Celeste had been waiting for. Leo, you're strong, but you're too arrogant. Your 8-game winning streak ends here. She immediately activated her Eternal Ice Wall skill. The ice wall quickly trapped Leo, rendering him immobile. In the blink of an eye, Leo was frozen into an ice sculpture. A crowd of sycophants from the academy cheered loudly. Goddess Celeste is incredible. It seems Leo isn't as powerful as we thought. If I'd known, I wouldn't have surrendered earlier. Meanwhile, the principal of the second academy looked smug. Old Ghost Xavier, it seems your Leo isn't all that. Principal Xavier replied, what's the rush? The best part is yet to come. Celeste signaled the examiner that the match could end. But the examiner disagreed. According to the rules, a player only loses if they surrender or their health drops to 1. Since Leo was still losing health, it meant he hadn't hit rock bottom yet. Hearing this, Celeste stepped forward to force Leo to surrender. But just as she got close, Leo broke free. Cutie, do you really think you can hold me like this? Celeste glanced at him. Leo, just give up. Holding on is only prolonging the torture. At this rate, your health will be gone in no time. Leo looked at her with disdain. From the looks of it, I won't be hitting rock bottom anytime soon. Just as he spoke, the ice walls surrounding him began to shatter. Celeste was visibly shocked. She immediately cast more skills to strengthen the ice walls. She wondered how Leo could be so strong to easily break through her eternal ice wall. Leo suddenly grinned. Hey cutie, how much mana do you have left? Once you're out, I'm coming for you. Celeste was stunned. Damn it, why hasn't his health hit bottom yet? And now, she had no mana left to cast any skills. Leo then pushed harder with both hands. With a loud crack from his left hand. In the blink of an eye, Leo broke free from the restraints of the eternal ice wall. Celeste was completely incredulous. How is this possible? But Leo just gave her a wicked smile. I'm out. Your defenses are broken. As a proper necromancer, it's not too much for me to use my ancestral green dragon crescent blade, right? And knocking out an opponent with my fists makes sense too, right? It's one thing to say I don't know how to be gentle with a lady, but accusing me of insulting the mage profession is where you're wrong. Undead? Why would I summon any undead? I'm just a brute who happens to have the title of necromancer. Just then, Leo casually placed the green dragon crescent blade against his cousin's neck. What's the matter, cousin? Still not ready to admit defeat? I will never bow my head and surrender to you. In that case, don't blame me for not being gentle. With that, he swung the green dragon crescent blade at her. He followed it up with an uppercut. The group of simps in the crowd were instantly outraged. How dare he be so violent with my goddess? I'll make sure your front door becomes a sea of manure. Just as he spoke, Celeste was slammed hard into the ground. Don't blame me for being ruthless. After all, this is the grand exam. The examiner then announced that Leo was the winner of the match. Principal Sterling looked very smug. See, what did I tell you? No one in this grand exam can stop Leo. A mentor nearby immediately helped Celeste up. Celeste repeatedly apologized. It's okay, Celeste. Your points are already enough to enter the arena tournament. Besides, this isn't entirely your fault. That guy isn't even a mage. He's insulting the entire profession. Leo wasn't happy to hear that. Really, why the prejudice? Is a mage who trains their physical body not a mage anymore? Meanwhile, Kane learned from his subordinates that Leo had won. The second academy really is a bunch of trash. They can't even take down the tiny fourth academy. In the end, I'll have to handle this myself. Meanwhile, in the lounge, the mentor asked Celeste how it felt to fight Leo. Celeste replied that he possessed an unreasonable kind of strength. The moment he attacks, I don't even have a chance to resist. The mentor then revealed. Originally, your opponent wasn't supposed to be Leo. Someone secretly swapped the opponents. That was when Celeste realized that things weren't as simple as they seemed. Looking at the power levels, it's clear that Leo is being targeted. I have to tell him about this, Celeste thought. Leo was shocked when he heard the news. Someone intentionally rigged the bracket, which is why we're matched up, Leo said. And it turns out their target was me all along. Celeste also warned Leo to be careful. Leo looked disdainful. These kinds of underhanded tactics are pathetic. He added, if they dare show their faces, I'll send them flying with one punch. Then, the competition continued. All the contestants stepped onto the arena. I won't waste time on the rules, the announcer declared. I hereby declare the arena match is officially open. The battle has finally begun. I wonder who will take home the championship. I think that Necromancer has a real shot. Nonsense. He's just a cheating hack. But just as they spoke, Leo leaped right into the center of the arena. I'm standing right here waiting for you, Leo shouted. You cowardly little rats, come and get some. The audience was bewildered, wondering if he was planning to take on everyone in a gauntlet. Suddenly, a giant man over 2 meters tall jumped out. Only a true genius can earn the title of Grand Exam Champion. And clearly, that genius is me. But he was greeted by Leo's merciless punch. The answer was obvious. You're not. Holy crap, this guy is way too overpowered. What kind of necromancer is this? If nobody stops him, he's definitely taking the top spot in the Grand Exam. Just then, cheers for Leo erupted from the crowd. I don't care if he's a necromancer or a physical brawler, someone shouted. I'm definitely becoming a fan of Leo. Leo smiled. It's about time the coward hiding in the shadows came out. As soon as he spoke, a figure suddenly appeared. You're just a show-off. Hearing the mention of 5 million, Leo looked confused. I'll give you 5 million to admit defeat. I've looked into you. You're an orphan. Aside from an old house left by your parents, you have no assets. 5 million is enough to live comfortably for the rest of your life. Who do you think I am? Leo asked. Becoming the top student of the Grand Exam is my lifelong dream. But the next second, Leo's attitude completely changed. It's not impossible for you to buy it. But you'll have to pay more. Kane was speechless. As expected, he's just a low-class peasant, Kane thought. How much? Just name your price. Leo held up his index finger. A few 100 million should do it. Of course, if you want to give me 10 billion, I won't refuse. Kane's eyes instantly turned cold. You're refusing the easy way and choosing the hard way. Don't blame me if I go too far. At that moment, Leo thought to himself, this guy must be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. Kane, a novice shadow mage from the First Academy. He's actually a shadow mage. No wonder he's talking so big. As the examiner shouted start, Leo gave a slight smile. I finally caught this little rat. He slowly extended his right hand and silently chanted, Shadow Servant. Suddenly, several ghosts formed from shadow energy appeared out of thin air. As he pushed his hand forward, these shadow ghosts shot toward Leo in the blink of an eye. A shadow mage versus a necromancer. This duel is going to be quite a spectacle. Both are classes that use summons, but so far, no one has seen Leo summon any undead. Hearing this, Leo smiled. Undead? What undead? I'm more than enough on my own. Who would have thought that Kane was such a monster? Leo was probably about to say a final goodbye to his happy life. As soon as the match started, Kane pulled out a sword. Without a word, he immediately stabbed himself. Then he punched himself, which caused Leo to spit out a mouthful of blood. But he wasn't done yet. He even tried to cut off his own little bird. This made Leo panic on the spot. You animal, stop it right now. But upon closer inspection, he realized he hadn't even touched a single hair. Is this damn thing really that hard? The shadow servants have bones of steel. This is the first course of the feast I've prepared for you. I wonder if you'll like it. But Leo didn't want to hear his nonsense. Without a word, he leaped forward and attacked. You call this trash bones of steel? To me, they look more like scrap metal. I'll show you exactly how I dismantle this scrap. As he spoke, he smashed one shadow wraith. Then came the third one. Then, with a whoosh, another shadow wraith was sliced in half. Then Leo grinned. Only 3 left. At this point, Kane couldn't help but muse. This guy actually destroyed the shadow servants. It's clear just how strong his melee combat skills are. I wouldn't even doubt it if someone called him a human beast. As he spoke, Leo took out the last one with a single strike of his blade. Now then, Kane, it's your turn. With that, Leo lunged forward and attacked Kane from above. But Kane spoke slowly. The shadow servants have already completed their task. Then he shouted, Sacrificial assimilation shadow. But then, Leo's attack sliced through Kane's arm. The audience couldn't help but gasp. With a strike like that, surely that shadow necromancer is finished. Leo is just too terrifying. But in the next moment, Leo was stunned. Because it wasn't Kane's arm that was severed, but his own. Meanwhile, Kane's arm had already healed. Kane then spoke softly. I have to admit, you're very strong. In all of Phi City, You're the first one to defeat my shadow servants and force me to use a sacrifice. At that moment, Leo realized that attacks on Cain would be transferred back to him. But if he didn't attack Cain's main body directly. But then Cain spoke up, "Don't actually think you'll be fine just because you're not attacking me." As he spoke, he took his weapon and stabbed his own chest. And what of it? Suddenly, Leo spat out a mouthful of blood. This is freaking insane. Seeing this, Cain gave a slight smile. If you surrender now, the conditions I promised you before still stand. Hearing this, Leo snapped back. Surrender my ass. At this, Cain was also shocked. Anyone else would have collapsed on the spot. Since you're so stubborn, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Saying that, he punched himself. Leo immediately started cursing. It might be a graze, but it really hurts. Then, Cain took his weapon and prepared to cut off his own little bird. This left Leo completely bewildered. You freaking animal, stop right now. With that, he swung a horizontal slash. Helplessly, Cain had to activate Sacrifice, Assimilation Shadow, once again. Even so, he couldn't help but be surprised. Meanwhile, Leo spat out another mouthful of blood. What kind of ghost skill does this guy have? It seems now that attacking Cain isn't a good thing at all. But the opponent's skill wasn't without flaws. Could it be the dark energy? So Leo said tentatively, if I've guessed correctly, my next punch will either kill you or leave you severely injured. Meanwhile, Cain was quietly preparing his next attack, but he continued to act tough, saying, if you're not afraid to die, come and try me. Hearing this, Leo didn't say another word and launched a punch. You don't think I can't see you secretly casting, do you? Then Leo squinted and smiled. It's time to verify my guess. Leo added, now, if you've got the guts, don't you dare dodge. Cain retorted, if I dodge even once, I'll call you father. But Cain still activated his shadow shield to block Leo's attack. Leo looked at him with disdain. You said you wouldn't dodge, so why are you defending? But Cain was stubborn. Just tell me, did I dodge or not? Leo replied, not bad, a real man. As he spoke, Leo smashed the shadow shield with a single punch. This left Cain completely stunned. Even a boss can't easily break through my shield. Could Leo's strength be even more terrifying than a boss's? Then, Leo's eyes suddenly turned cold. Time to end this. Unexpectedly, Cain gave a cold smile. It was time to end this, but the black aura around Cain only grew more intense. Suddenly, he let out a roar toward the sky. Sacrifice, Shadow Devour. This left Leo completely bewildered. Could this guy still have some kind of trump card? Cain's face was now twisted into a sinister expression. In this state, even a physical cultivator of the same rank couldn't stop me. Leo, I wonder what you could possibly use to fight me. Who would have thought? One was a unique hidden class, the Necromancer, and the other was an 18th generation hereditary shadow mage, yet both chose the most primitive method, hand-to-hand combat. This was because while Leo's class appeared to be a Necromancer, he couldn't even summon a single tiny skeleton. Cain could summon shadow servants to fight for him, but once they were defeated, he had to devour them to transform into a raging steel warrior. Just as the two were locked in a fierce brawl, trading blows, they were unaware that two dark figures were watching their every move. Just now, Cain had entered the berserk state of Sacrifice, Shadow Devour. The top spot in the Jieching Grand Exam is destined to be mine. This is your end. But before he could finish his sentence, Leo took advantage of the opening and launched a kick, sending Cain flying dozens of meters. The impact left a trench several meters wide in the ground. But Leo soon discovered that Cain was incredibly tough. After he fused with 4 shadow servants, it seemed he had also acquired their traits. But a second later, Cain threw another punch. You've got no sense of sportsmanship, you bastard. Leo shouted. Leo didn't back down either, declaring, let's see whose fist is harder. With that, their fists collided head-on. The impact sent debris flying and kicked up a cloud of dust. Leo then leaped into the air. But Cain was faster and kicked Leo in the arm. Taking advantage of the moment Leo dodged, Cain grabbed his right leg. To his surprise, Leo grinned and threw a punch that landed squarely on Cain's stupid face. A loud boom echoed across the ground. The audience was stunned, wondering, isn't this supposed to be a mage arena? Why are these two engaging in close-quarters combat? Are battle mages the new trend? Meanwhile, 2 mysterious figures in the stands were watching every move. They were members of the Baze organization, whom Leo had beaten previously. That's definitely Leo, not Victor, one of them noted. Regardless of who he is, we must recruit him into the Baze organization this time. By now, Cain refused to believe it. What kind of sorcery are you using? How can you be evenly matched with me? A tie? Are you sure about that? At that moment, Cain's gaze shifted. Shadow Devourer had a time limit, so he had to end this quickly. As he spoke, a terrifying surge of black energy erupted from his body. You forced my hand, Leo? A second later, his expression became twisted. Sacrifice, Shadow Devourer. This immediately infuriated Principal Sterling. This is madness. Kane, stop this at once. But Kane wasn't in any state to listen. The top spot in the grand exam must be mine. I have to prove that I'm not weaker than my brother. Presumably, his brother had been the top scorer of the Mage department, which put immense pressure on Kane. Seeing this, Leo became even more excited. Yes, that's it. Shouting about something he'd protect, even if it cost him his life. He charged toward me. But Leo was met with a full power punch from Kane. Die. Leo suddenly spat out a mouthful of black blood. Not bad, Leo said, before throwing a punch back at Kane. The two of them were now locked in a fierce, deadlocked struggle. The referee signaled, asking if they should stop the fight. But Marcus signaled for them to wait. Just then, the mysterious woman gave an order. Take them both away. As the guards prepared to move in, the fight between the two remained intense. Both were wondering why the other still hadn't fallen. They were even tankier than any boss they had fought before. Then, the two of them exchanged several more heavy punches. Blood began to splatter across their faces and bodies. As Leo threw his final punch, he smashed right through Kane's shadow armor on his face. At the same time, Kane's shadow sacrifice duration ended. Frustrated, Kane muttered, "Did I actually lose?" The referee then declared Leo the winner. Marcus, watching from the stage, let out a long sigh of relief. It seems Leo is still a cut above the rest. But just then, a brilliant red light suddenly filled the venue. Seeing this, Marcus shouted, "You arrogant fool, you're asking for death." Meanwhile, Leo suddenly felt a wave of dizziness. What was happening? Before he could even open his eyes, something rushed toward him. Before long, Leo found himself loaded onto a large truck. Kane and the others had been snatched away as well. As Leo slowly regained consciousness, he realized that even Celeste and the others had been captured. Is this some kind of kidnapping targeting the most talented students? Just then, a voice came from behind him. "Oh, you're awake. My apologies for inviting you here in such a manner." Hearing this, Leo slowly held up his hands. "You call this an invitation?" The woman replied. "Don't worry, I won't harm any of you. The reason I invited you here is because I've taken an interest in your talents. I am Flora, the Bay's representative for the Phi City region." Benny and Victor were completely confused by this. What on earth is Bays? To think that Bays would actually dare to kidnap candidates during the grand exam. At that moment, Celeste, who was standing nearby, asked, "What exactly are you planning to do? Can you even afford the consequences of kidnapping candidates?" Hearing this, Flora laughed with a look of disdain. "Since I dared to do it, I have nothing to worry about. Once we arrive, I'll naturally let you go." Her gaze suddenly sharpened. "But if anyone tries to escape along the way, I'll have no choice but to painfully send you to your deaths." Success. It's a success. Leo managed to save all the students from Mouse City single-handedly. It turns out that 10 genius students, including Leo, were knocked unconscious and forcibly taken by Baze's forces. They even put special handcuffs on everyone. Even a level 20 body cultivator couldn't easily break free. However, one level 17 body cultivator student refused to believe it. "You think some trash handcuffs can hold me?" Yet, even after using every ounce of his strength, it was completely useless. Meanwhile, Leo applied a bit of force and the handcuffs snapped instantly. This left the body cultivator completely stunned. Just who is the body cultivator here, you or me? After the students from Sioux City were taken away, Celeste asked why they were capturing them. Hearing this, Flora smiled slightly. "Every major university needs fresh blood, but we at Bays prefer to take what's already available." At that moment, a fearless student stood up. "What the hell is Bays? I've never even heard of it." But he was met with a ruthless kick. "You have no choice in the matter. Once you get to know Bays, I'm sure you won't refuse, because if you do, death is the only option. I believe you're all smart people. It's impossible for you to escape back to the inner world. These handcuffs are specially made." With that, the door was closed. It turned out that when the academy was being raided earlier, Marcus had tried to stop them and had even shot a member of Bays dead on the spot. That person had been a mole posing as an inspector. There must be more moles inside the academy. But the most important thing now was to rescue the candidates. Suddenly, a man appeared behind Marcus. "I never imagined the chief examiner of Sioux City would be you." Marcus demanded to know who they were and why they were targeting the candidates. But the green-haired man only smiled. "Guess if I'll tell you." But a second later, Marcus's energy sword shot forward, only to find that the man was merely an afterimage. Before Marcus could react, the green-haired man kicked him flying. Then, he sneered, "You're so old, yet your temper is still so volatile. If you keep this up, you'll likely die of anger." Just as he finished speaking, the green-haired man transformed into a giant bomb and rocketed toward the ceiling. He instantly blasted a massive hole through it, leaving nothing but rubble everywhere. Once the dust settled, Marcus emerged from the debris. Two teachers rushed over, asking with concern, "Director Marcus, are you all right?" Marcus said he was fine and asked, "Where are those thugs?" From the students' accounts, they learned that the group had kidnapped 10 students, including Leo, Kane, and Celeste. "We weren't strong enough to stop them," they replied. Hearing this, Marcus smashed a nearby boulder with a single blow, shouting, "Damn it." Just then, Commissioner Lucas arrived in a hurry. Marcus immediately shared his analysis. Since they were kidnapped, it means the students aren't in immediate danger. Furthermore, these people are well trained. This is definitely not something an ordinary organization could pull off. They've got some nerve, daring to target candidates of the grand exam. Just then, another teacher rushed over. "It's not just Sioux City. Candidates from 4 other cities across the country have been kidnapped. The methods are identical, suggesting the same organization is behind it." Marcus immediately ordered a thorough investigation. Regardless, they had to ensure the safety of those candidates. Meanwhile, Leo was staring at the handcuffs in his hands, deep in thought. A body cultivator student nearby gave a disdainful smirk. He thought, "You think these trash handcuffs can hold me? I'm a body cultivator, after all." But even after putting in every ounce of strength, he couldn't break them. However, Leo applied just a bit of pressure, and the cuffs snapped easily. It seems Baze's equipment is quite low quality. The body cultivator student was left completely stunned. He wondered, "Are you the body cultivator, or am I?" Leo then stood up and offered to cut the handcuffs for the others. With a powerful strike from the green dragon crescent blade, the handcuffs of several students were instantly shattered. Only Kane stood aside by himself. Seeing this, Kane gave a cold snort. Kane said it wasn't necessary, but Leo didn't care. He casually swung the green dragon crescent blade, smashing the car door open with a single strike. Flora seemed to realize something, and immediately ordered the driver to stop. But when she stepped out, she found that Leo and the 10 students had already jumped out of the car. Leo didn't forget to greet her. "We meet again?" Flora asked in confusion. Those handcuffs couldn't be broken even by a level 20 body cultivator. "How did you do it?" Leo gave a sly smile. "I'm just not telling you. Just to keep you up at night. But for now, all I can say is bye-bye." Seeing this, Flora immediately launched a skill at him. But she only hit empty air. Helpless, she could only watch coldly. By the time they emerged from here again, the people from Dust City would likely have already arrived. "Leo, right? I'll remember you." Leo was really playing with fire this time. Just as Leo had led everyone to escape from Baze, a twist of fate led them into a mysterious dungeon and became joyous corpses in the hands of the corpse drivers. But this caught the attention of a coffin bearer and his apprentice. The old man even claimed that selling them to a brothel would fetch a good price. Hearing this, Leo couldn't just sit there. "I think you're just looking for death." Just now, Leo and the others had accidentally entered a mysterious dungeon to head to Coffin Mountain and stop the Drought Demon's resurrection. Benny and the others had disappeared. It seemed this dungeon used random teleportation. He wondered if he could move freely if he broke the NPC's gong and soul-snatching bell. Just as Leo took out the green dragon crescent blade, Toby, standing nearby, immediately noticed something was off and shouted in a cold sweat, "Master, Master, the joyous corpse has come back to life." When a corpse reanimates, it grows fuzz, and its nails and teeth lengthen. "Did everything I teach you go in one ear and out the other?" Toby tried to argue, but the Taoist priest stopped him, saying it was more important to keep moving. It was then that Leo realized his identity in this dungeon was likely that of a joyous corpse. He figured that by following this master and apprentice, he'd soon enter the main plot. Before long, they arrived at the mortuary. The Taoist priest didn't forget to stick a talisman on Leo's forehead. Then, Kane prepared to head out to handle some business, telling Toby to keep a close eye on the Joy God. Toby, meanwhile, kept praying in a low voice, "Lord Joy God, please, whatever you do, don't wake up from the dead." But just then, 2 mysterious men suddenly burst in. One was an old man, and the other was a burly man carrying a coffin. The old man glanced at the immobilization talisman on Leo's head and asked, "What is your relationship with the corpse driver, Kane?" Toby replied that Kane was his master, adding, "By the looks of it, you must be a coffin bearer." Hearing this, the old man in green puffed on his cigarette a few times. "Kane's apprentice actually has a bit of a keen eye," he remarked. He then took a closer look at Leo. Dead, yet not decaying, and still warm to the touch. This body must have died quite recently. Seeing this, Toby hurriedly shouted, "Senior, you cannot be disrespectful to the Joy God. Offending the Joy God could lead to unimaginable consequences." Hearing this, the burly man slammed his coffin onto the ground. He scoffed, "What Joy God? It's nothing more than a corpse. What could possibly happen if I'm disrespectful to it? Only you people call a corpse a Joy God. If it dares to cause trouble, my morning staff won't be for show," declared Frank. Toby's expression immediately shifted. "You're wrong to do this. This is a grave insult to the Joy God." Just then, The old man in green brushed the talisman off Leo's head. This young man is quite handsome. If he were sold to a brothel, he'd definitely fetch a good price. Then the old man told the big man to take the body away. Frank didn't say a word and prepared to move in. But Toby stood firmly in front of Leo to protect him. How are you any different from bandits? My master will never let you get away with this. But just as he finished speaking, he took a solid slap from Frank. Get the hell out of my way. But Toby was instantly enraged. If you dare take one more step, I'll fight you to the death. Haha, fight to the death? With someone like you? With that, Frank delivered a flying kick to Toby's stomach, sending him flying several meters. A little waste like you dares to play the hero? But just then, Leo suddenly let out a sigh. Seeing this, Toby was stunned. The old man in green and Frank also gaped in surprise. Then Leo ripped the talisman off his head. His expression suddenly turned cold. It really is.